American Serengeti is home to some of the highest concentrations of whales and sea life anywhere in the world. Big's orcas live here year-round, and much of the year they are joined by humpback, gray, and minke whales. Puget Sound Express naturalists report sightings of all 4 species on recent tours. Family-run Puget Sound Express offers daily guaranteed whale watching tours departing from Edmonds. These half-day tours are Seattle's most popular and well-reviewed whale tours. Puget Sound Express also offers tours out of beautiful Port Townsend and Port Angeles on the Olympic Peninsula. Don't miss out on your chance to see whales in the wild. Family-run Puget Sound Express guarantees you'll see whales or your next trip is absolutely free. Book online at PugetSoundExpress.com.
If you want a dream bathroom without a humongous price tag, now's the time to call Bathfitter Northwest. Ursula Reutin here. I picked Bathfitter because they are the original one-day bath remodeler. They're a local family-owned business that's been around for 40 years. They own every step in the process to make sure you get the best quality product and the best value. Right now, get 0% interest for 24 months, and for a limited time, they'll pay your sales tax. Why would you choose anyone else? Call Bathfitter today.
Lori here from Guardian Roofing, Gutters, and Insulation. I'm here with good news. Guardian has flexible financing options. With Guardian's acclaimed services, you can upgrade or repair your roof, gutters, and insulation. Call to hear about our flexible financing options or visit guardianroofing.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM, and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News. This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Steve Kathan. The Catholic cardinals who will pick the next pope have taken an oath of secrecy at the Vatican, and just moments ago, others inside the room were told to leave the Sistine Chapel.
Extra omnes.
CBS's Chris Livesay is in Rome.
They'll be sequestered and, in a space where they can only caucus with each other, for lack of a better word, commune with each other. There's a wide variety of opinions and people inside of this conclave.
I'm Seth Doan in Rome. There is an air of excitement here around Vatican City, around St. Peter's Basilica, even among tourists who some find by chance they are here for a conclave. The world will be watching, waiting to see if there's that white smoke or that black smoke, waiting to see what cardinals decide.
Well, here at home, a federal appeals court has granted a judge's order to bring a Tufts University student from a Louisiana immigration detention center back to Vermont for hearings to determine whether the Turkish woman's rights were violated when she was taken into custody. India today fired missiles at Pakistan in what it said was retaliation for last month's massacre of Indian tourists. CBS's Rami Inocencio reports Pakistan claims it downed several Indian fighter jets.
Pakistan's prime minister says this is a blatant act of war and that they are saying that they will respond at a time of its own choosing, so we are on alert for more attacks.
And today's the first day U.S. travelers are supposed to have real ID to board domestic flights. CBS News transportation correspondent Chris Van Cleve.
Flyers without a real ID will receive additional security screening at the checkpoint. How early should I get here?
So we're really recommending that 2 to 3 hour time frame, just in case.
Dan Wiley's TSA's acting security director for Washington State.
We are not expecting meltdowns, not expecting excessive wait times. We're planned, we're prepared, and ready to go.
Disney says it's going to build its 7th theme park, this one in the United Arab Emirates. Federal Reserve policymakers conclude a 2-day meeting today. CBS's Jill Schlesinger says President Trump has called for lower interest rates, but a downward move today is unlikely.
Fed Chair Jerome Powell is probably going to emphasize the uncertainty that tariffs could have on the economy. The problem for the Federal Reserve is that the Trump tariffs could actually reignite inflation.
The National Hockey League team in Salt Lake City has a new name. It's now known as the Utah Mammoth. The choice comes after a year of fan input and voting. Wall Street, right now the Dow is up 266 points. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Just before the busy summer travel season, a strike is looming at SeaTac Airport. Details coming up. But first, from the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk, You have some heavy volumes and are slow in spots due to earlier challenges. Your travel times, Federal Way to Seattle 70 minutes, about 10 longer than typical. Brenton to Bellevue 44, just a few minutes longer. Everett to Seattle 54. That's just about where we'd expect this time of day. Traffic brought to you by Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Enjoy efficient new windows now and defer paying for them for 12 months with 0 down and 0 payments. LakeWashingtonWindows.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. Today is the day you are supposed to have your real ID and enhanced driver's license to fly in the U.S. Doug is at SeaTac and does not have his.
My heart is pounding. I'm freaking out a little bit.
If you don't have real ID, you can use your passport or other accepted federal identification. Don't have either? You will undergo lengthy screening. Just before the busy travel season, a strike is looming at SeaTac Airport. KIRO 7 TV's Jason Sloss reports.
Tuesday, Teamsters voted in support of a strike. The fuelers service about 70% of planes at SEA and work for Swissport.
This job is not only dangerous, it's grueling.
Jamie Fleming with Teamsters Local 174 says the fuelers' previous contract with Swissport expired a few days ago. They've been negotiating for the past 2 months, but talks have stalled. Many fuelers make little more than minimum wage. They're asking for better pay and improved working conditions.
Another round of talks is set for tomorrow. Charges have now been filed against a motorcycle rider who's accused in a hit-and-run crash that killed a 57-year-old woman and injured her husband in South Seattle last month. Prosecutors say Ty Shane O'Brien faces counts of vehicular homicide, vehicular assault, and hit-and-run. He's due in court May 19th. If you feel the need for speed, stay out of Bellevue.
During the first quarter of last year, Bellevue police issued 380 speeding tickets. This year, that number is 998. Now, traffic officers will conduct emphasis patrols every weekend beginning this Friday. Here's Bellevue PD's Drew Anderson.
If you are choosing to speed in our community, drive recklessly, or even use a modified muffler that is creating a lot of noise, we will be holding you accountable.
James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
After 2 straight losses, the Seattle Mariners bounced back in Sacramento with a big win over the Athletics. M's catcher Cal Raleigh stepped up to the plate in the 9th with the bases loaded. The M's down by 1 run.
3-1 pitch on the way to Cal, swinging a line drive, base hit. Down the right field line, Polanco will score. Julio rounding third, being waved in. He'll score.
The M's went on to win it 5-3. Next game, 12:35 this afternoon. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Increasing showers today with highs around 60. It is 56 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Hey, everybody. Happy Wednesday, May 7th. Ursula, I want to take this moment to just wish my daughter happy birthday. I have a 30-year-old.
I cannot believe it.
I have a 30-year-old. Like, this is a whole different type of paternity. Like, I was asking her, how does she feel in her 30s? And I wanted to ask myself, how do you feel having a 30-year-old?
How do you feel? I saw the pictures that you posted on Facebook of when you were a brand new dad.
Yeah.
You were a baby yourself.
I was. I was.
You looked like you were in shock.
Scared.
Like you were scared.
Scared. And I think, you know what, that was the conclusion you drew from that was great, and you're right. And what you saw in me was that was the first time I had really held a newborn. Because I wasn't holding anybody else's newborn.
Yeah.
So for me, that was the first time. And I was like, ooh, I don't know what I'm doing here.
Happy 30th, Ash.
Hey, yeah, happy 30th. All right, Ursula, good morning. What we got going on today?
Well, you said it is May 7th. You know what's just around the corner? Mother's Day.
Oh, yeah, this Sunday.
Yes, and if you are panicking and are really stumped as to what to do for either your mom or your wife or your grandmother, we're going to have some ideas for you. But, the ideas aren't just going to come from me.
No. They're going to come from you. Listen,
Exactly.
we need you.
Exactly.
Chef needs you.
Chef needs some serious help.
Help a brother out.
Yes. 888-973-5476, 888-9073. KIRO, our question is, what do women really want for Mother's Day?
Hey, and Jamie in Seattle says, you all are the best part of my day. I look forward to you all every day. Okay, Jamie, tell us how you really feel. Ursula's Top Stories of the Day brought to you by, by the way, shout out to everybody on YouTube. Go to YouTube and see us on live on video. Ursula's Top Stories of the Day brought to you by Bath Fitter Northwest.
Today is the deadline to have real ID to get on a flight at SeaTac Airport. It is a date that has pretty much as much warning as Y2K did. And travelers are bracing for some real crowds at the airport. But what is the real story at SEA this morning? KIRO Newsradio's Luke Ducey is there, and he joins us live now. Luke.
Good morning, everyone. And I feel when I start talking here, we're going to have a huge I told you so moment from G. But I'm going to continue anyway because I'm here outside the security checkpoint number 4 at SCA. And all morning long, I tell you, security lines have been short. They've been quick. They have not. I know. Here we go.
Yeah.
We've been waiting 20 years for this. 20 years since Homeland Security implemented the Real ID program. And, I've been asking people all morning long, do they have their Real IDs ready? 1 in 5 Americans do not have one, according to Homeland Security, including, I met one, Doug. He is traveling. He has his Real ID, he says, on the way in the mail, but he didn't have it yet.
My heart is pounding. I'm freaking out a little bit. I think it's going to be fine, but you never know,
It sounds like you want to be prepared.
Right. And I'm not in control completely of the situation.
Why do I relate to him?
I know. He was scared. He was legitimate scared. You know what he did? He brought his electric bill with him and a bunch of documents, and he got through okay. He's fine. So,
But he didn't have a passport? He didn't have a passport because that's another form of ID.
Didn't have it.
Okay.
Yeah, military ID, passport, enhanced driver's license. Those are all the things, and there are more that you can have and get through. But he came with all these other documents, including his bills. He got through just fine. What TSA is doing is taking people here at SEA off to the side. You got to start answering more questions if you don't have a real ID. They're still allowing you to fly, but they just want to make sure you are who you say you are. But again, I will say it again. The lines are short, and it's been a really quick. I wish I were traveling today because I've never seen the line shorter, actually.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
Okay,
Wow.
It does. Luke, thank you so much. And it does. You were right.
No, hold on, real quick. Luke.
Okay.
Let me ask you this before you. I just got to ask one question. Do you kind of wish the lines were longer so you'd have more to do?
Well, I got to yes, I'll answer it. I'll be truthful. Okay, as reporters, you kind of want the disgruntled people and that I'm all angry. I didn't get through and I can't travel.
Oh my God.
Oh, I love you, Luke. Thank you,
We didn't
man.
get that. We didn't get that.
Well, we need to make fun of ourselves because this countdown has been happening. I mean, and there were stations that were actually doing.
Whoa. I'm not.
Not you.
Do you speak French? Talk about we. No. Speak for yourself.
Well, yes. Okay. I'll speak for everybody but you because you were correct. But there were stations that were running live countdowns to Real ID Day. And, it was really hyped up as the government wanted to because, again, like we've said, it's been 20 years in the making. And they said this is really going to happen. And the real story right now is what's happening in licensing offices. But this just all reminds me of this historic bust when it came to momentous occasions.
At the stroke of midnight, January 1st, 2000, elevators may stop. Heat may vanish. Credit cards and ATMs may cease to function. Airplanes and trains may come to a halt.
And then nothing happened in Y2K.
Nope.
So that's kind of how I'm feeling about today with Real ID.
And by the way, I know that, sometimes I can swing and miss on my sweeping statements that you all have come to love. But to be serious for a second,
yes,
my biggest driver for my opinion about Real IDs not being the end-all, be-all today is because there's no way that they will let airlines miss out and lose out on money. That's where it came from.
Yeah.
I just don't think that was going to happen.
They still want you to get it, and you still have time to get it, and now you have to, but they are accepting other forms of ID, and if you don't have any of that, it's just going to mean a bigger hassle for you.
One caveat, though. Do you think it's going to get a little bit more aggressive with the questioning down the road?
Yes. I think that, and also, we do have Luke Ducey has to go back Memorial Day weekend. Because it's going to get real then.
Okay, and I am waiting to get an appointment because I don't have real ID, and I am going to be going out of the country at the end of this month. So we'll see. I'll let you know how that goes.
But you got a passport.
I do have a passport. Okay, damage is estimated at $1 million or maybe even more after those pro-Palestine activists occupied a University of Washington building and set dumpsters on fire on Monday night. And now the federal government has launched an investigation into what they are calling anti-Semitic violence at UW. Secretary of Education Linda McMahon says the violence and the chaos that ensued on campus is another, this is a quote, horrifying display of the anti-Semitic harassment and lawlessness which has characterized many of our nation's elite campuses over the last few years. UW student Mitsuki Shimomura tells King 5 News he thinks the activists were targeting the wrong thing.
I was not surprised by the attack, specifically because these protesting groups have been vocal about their opposition to this building and to some of the engineering programs. Vandalism against engineering buildings is an attack against engineering students who just want to study about technologies that can make this world a better place.
Now, yeah, I know. These protesters are demanding the university divest from Boeing because of the company's military contracts linked to the war in Gaza. Boeing has donated, I believe it was $10 million to the new engineering building and also has an enhanced role in terms of some of the education that is going to happen in that school. The vandals trashed the walls. They destroyed lab equipment, glued doors shut, and shattered glass. More than 30 people were arrested. 5 were in court yesterday. The rest will have their first hearings today.
Okay, yesterday I did go too hard because I was calling them out of their names, calling them idiots. So I won't do that today. So instead of the best way, Ursula, to move this conversation forward would be to ask you and everyone that's listening right now. And here's the question. Do disruptive protests hinder or help the message? And when I say disruptive, here, let me paraphrase. Disruptive, I'm talking about fires. I'm talking about going into classrooms like they did here, dumpster fires and all those things. Broken windows, smashing cars. The question is simple for all of us. So that's disruptive. Do disruptive protests help or hinder the message?
They, in my opinion, lose the message entirely. And in fact, the focus is now on the vandalism, the violence, and they do nothing for the cause. And I do want to say a couple of things. UW President Anna Marie Kause, who I mistakenly said was no longer UW president, she is stepping down at the end of this school year. So the new president comes in on August 1st. She did issue a statement condemning the protest in an email that was sent yesterday. She said, "This is no peaceful protest in support of Palestinian rights or against the war in Gaza. I condemn this dangerous, violent, and illegal building occupation and related vandalism. I also condemn in the strongest terms the group's statement celebrating the October 7th, 2023 Hamas terrorist attacks against Israeli civilians. The university will not be intimidated by this sort of horrific and destructive behavior and will not engage in dialogue with any group using or condoning such destructive acts. We will continue our actions to oppose anti-Semitism, racism, and all forms of biases so that all of our students, faculty, staff, and visitors can feel safe and welcome on our campuses." The police also moved in 6 hours instead of allowing these protests to go on for days. So I think that the reaction to it was appropriate, and I'm just going to say it hurts.
Well, I knew you and I would be on the same page. Chef, I just really want to ask you that same question.
I'm on the same page because it's very simple. Is it good trouble or just trouble? And this is just trouble. Do not give people a target to be shot at. I mean, that you're giving the Trump administration ammunition here.
Exactly.
Saying, this is what they want. You just gave it to them. You're just making trouble. Get out.
And you know who is fighting the Trump administration on a lot of different fronts is our state attorney general, Nick Brown.
And even Nick Brown. Y'all lost Nick Brown.
Yeah, he just issued a statement. He says, our office has been closely monitoring the disturbing events at the University of Washington this week. It is clear that there was substantial damage to public property and threats to the overall safety of the university community. I am thankful that those responsible were arrested and, if found guilty, should be held accountable. He says, I will fully and always support people's right to protest and to express their views. It is foundational to our democracy, but everyone has a right to be safe on campus, and UW must enforce the law. Point blank simple.
Yeah, thank you, Tyson from 808. Not disruptive. Let's call it destructive.
Exactly.
Thank you, Tyson.
Yes, absolutely. The state's police training academy has now reached a $500,000 settlement with a female deputy who alleges that she was repeatedly sexually harassed and humiliated. Snohomish County Sheriff's Deputy Caitlin Ricksecker claims that while she was at the academy in 2022, training officer Richard Klein referred to her as Rick Sucker. She says that he brought her in front of the class to demonstrate how to search, and this is a quote here, hoes and hookers. And during this mock search, she claims he used a police baton to roam over her body, again, another quote, and jiggle her breasts and rear end. She says the culture in the academy was bigoted and toxic, and trainees had to keep quiet and they couldn't complain. This $500,000 payment settles the lawsuit against the training academy, Officer Klein, and the Federal Way Police Department where he is employed. Now, Fox 13 has reached out to the city of Federal Way, and a spokesperson wrote that the city is defending Klein. They say after reviewing the circumstances and Officer Klein's longstanding service record, the city and the Federal Way Police Department continue to support and stand by this officer. And the city strongly disputes that the allegations raised in the lawsuit occurred, as well as the characterization of the claims in the press release issued by the plaintiff's attorney. So in other words, they're denying any of these things even happened.
Well, you know, Ursula, I'd say we can all agree that it's surprising that a training officer is alleged to have done this. Perhaps that training officer probably missed the memo on professional conduct. When are we going to truly wake up to the fact? Because I've been noticing there's been a trend in some of your top stories over the last 3 to 6 months. You are always talking about some type of lawsuit that's coming up. We're talking sexual harassment comes up. We know about that within SPD. But when are we going to realize that harassment in these places that are meant to protect and serve, in that place that are training the people that are going to be protecting and serving, at some point, we have to say to ourselves, this isn't just another scandal. This is a crisis. This seems and feels like it is happening way too much when we're having this discussion within some law enforcement agencies, but this happens to be training grounds. For law enforcement agency. So,
which is really discouraging because these are where the recruits are going to move on to other police departments, and it's your first foray into the whole idea of police culture.
I want to be frank with you. Yes, it's discouraging that it's happening. What I do want to say and try to give the positive on this, it is a positive that is actually being reported, because for so many years, right? When we would say, and people would say, when disproportionate people were arrested and all of this happening, nobody believed it then. But now, when it happens from within, now you can't deny it. So you have a lot of people on the outside saying, we tried to tell you that this stuff was happening 30, 40, 50 years ago.
Yeah. And I totally hear you. And the parts that are troubling me about this particular situation are that, okay, so the training academy just settled it, said, let's just do the payment, $500,000. Yeah, $500,000. Rick Secker is the third woman to be represented by the same firm when it comes to lawsuits against the state's police academy. Yeah. So the thing that's striking to me is that the city of Federal Way is saying we are even disputing that this happened and the claims that are made, et cetera, et cetera. And then my question is, is it just a difference in terms of what basically it's like you need more training as to what constitutes sexual harassment, and where some people are just absolutely clueless as to what harassment is and what harassment isn't. And how is that still possible in this day and age? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, so those are the issues that I have. And again, the city of Federal Way, he is still employed as an officer. And they're saying, we don't believe this actually happened. But the academy is like, they wanted him to basically no longer work for the Federal Way Police Department.
You want to know why we had a Me Too movement?
Yes.
We had a Me Too movement because for years, nobody believed it happened.
Yes.
So, by the way, haven't we heard that before? That we don't believe it happened? Yeah.
And there are still some who say the Me Too movement went too far.
Sure. Yeah. Hey, we do need to talk. At 9:47, I'd argue that the topic that we're going to talk about, you're gonna think about it in one of two ways. You're either going to be alarmed by it, or you're going to be like, oh, I don't care. That'll be at 9:47. But up next, we really do. When I say we, me and Chef, we really need your help for Mother's Day, and we're going to talk about what do people on Mother's Day really want. Next, Gee and Ursula.
The Jake and Spike Show.
Weekdays, noon to 3.
Here's what people are clamoring to buy right now. Poop from the Seattle Zoo. Zoodoo. You can get a zebra, you get giraffe, a poodoos. You ever heard of that animal in your life?
Never in my life.
Laura, can you look that up?
It looks like a tiny Bambi.
I don't know how much poop you're going to get from that thing.
That's why it's rare and costly, my friend.
Jake and Spike.
Weekdays, noon to 3.
On KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM. Watch the Jake and Spike Show live on YouTube.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear. Call me Papa Bear, because I'm grilling up dinner. Do you get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container, because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
Learn more at smokeybear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
With Progressive, renters can save on protection for the things that make your place yours, even things that don't make sense to everyone.
People always wonder why I don't get rid of my guitar since I never play. But it's like, what if I actually end up taking lessons? Sure, I've had it for 8 years, but if I get rid of it, then what will my New Year's resolution be next January?
Exactly. So bundle your renters and auto and save with Progressive and protect the things that make sense to you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates and other insurers not available in all states or situations. Covered subject to policy terms and conditions.
Hi, my name is Rajiv Nagaich. Ever since I became an elder law attorney more than 20 years ago, I've helped thousands of people in the Seattle area retire with more confidence about their future. I'd like to invite you to one of my retirement planning seminars this month. Learn how to protect your estate from long-term care costs. Live out your years where you choose, even if you get sick, without becoming a burden on people you love the most. Learn how to use the Safe Harbor Trust to protect your estate from threats most people overlook. Come to the seminar and I'll show you how it's done.
Join the free seminar in Federal Way on May 13th, Tacoma on May 15th, or Bellevue on May 17th. Register at lifepointlaw.com. That's lifepointlaw.com. Or call 253-838-3454. 253-838-3454.
Hartley Wilcox here from Wilcox Family Farms. A question we get asked a lot this time of year is, how do the hens stay warm when it's so cold out? Of course, we have nice barns to protect them from the rain, wind, and snow. But also, their feathers are like a down jacket, and if they need additional warmth, they will often snuggle together. And for those very cold days, we have heaters to keep them comfortable and happily laying eggs. Wilcox is committed to organic, humane practices that keep our hens healthy and help preserve the land. When you choose food from local family farmers like Wilcox, you support the local economy with jobs and promote environmental sustainability, making it possible for our family to keep on producing great eggs for another 100 years. Pick up Wilcox eggs at Costco, Marlene's, and Hagen's. And for a healthy snack on the go, grab some ready-to-eat, pre-peeled, hard-boiled eggs in a convenient to-go 2-pack. Wilcox Family Farms, locally fresh since 1909.
Charlie Harger here. When your hot turns to cold, you better think fast. Fast Water Heater. Call 1-800-THINK-FAST. That's 1-800-THINK-FAST or fastwaterheater.com.
You better think fast. Fast Water Heater.
G. Scott here with former Seahawk Doug Baldwin. Tell us about Nourishing Champions.
We know the benefits for young people in sports, but we often don't think about the barriers. And one of those barriers is having proper nutrition. So Nourishing Champions, in partnership with Champions of Change and Safeway, is an effort to address those barriers so that our student athletes have what they need to excel both on the field and in the classroom.
High schools can apply for grants up to $25,000 from Nourishing Champions. Learn more at championsofchangefoundation.org/Nourishing Champions.
Sharp Vision Modern LASIK and Lens has given me back clear vision. The process was simple and easy. I scheduled my free consultation and discovered I was at the early stage of cataracts and a perfect candidate for RLE. They restored clarity and brightness to my vision like when I was in my 20s, and I'll never need readers again and never develop cataracts. Sharp Vision Modern LASIK and Lens are taking RLE surgery to the next level. Call them now at 425-451-2020 or go online to sharp-vision.com, official eye care provider of Sounders FC.
Your new beginning starts now. D.R. Horton has new construction homes available throughout the greater Seattle area. With spacious floor plans, flexible living spaces, and home technology packages, you can enjoy more cozy moments and sweet memories in your beautiful new home. With new home communities opening throughout the Seattle area, D.R. Horton has the ideal home for you. Visit drhorton.com to learn more. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. Today is the deadline for you to have Real ID, and it has an enhanced driver's license in order to fly. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey has more from SeaTac Airport.
2 decades since the Real ID program was implemented by Homeland Security, and 1 in 5 Americans like Doug still don't have one.
My heart is pounding. I'm freaking out a little bit. I think it's going to be fine, but you never know.
People without a Real ID have been allowed to fly after jumping through more TSA security hoops. At SEA, Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Questions are being raised about an extra checkpoint that U.S. Customs and Border Patrol has set up in Blaine at the border with Canada. Immigration lawyer Len Saunders says in 25 years, he's never seen anything like this.
I want to know why. I don't want some rhetoric, blah, blah, blah answer.
The Border Patrol tells Global News inspections like this are routinely done to check for illegal immigrants and contraband. More people are expected in court today after being arrested for barricading themselves at a University of Washington engineering building this week. 4 of the more than 30 pro-Palestinian demonstrators faced a judge yesterday.
The suspects were arrested for first-degree criminal trespass. Authorities say they took part in a standoff with police at the UW's Interdisciplinary Engineering Building. During the incident, there was vandalism and a dumpster set on fire. Police say none of those arrested were intoxicated or armed. The people in court Tuesday were ordered to stay out of the engineering building unless attending or teaching a class there. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
The building sustained about $1 million in damage. Americans are keeping their eyes on costly tariffs and the prospect there will be shortages because of the trade war. This woman is shopping early right now for holiday toys.
I cannot risk that there'll be no presents or dolls for her under the tree. So I am going out there and I am purchasing her Christmas gifts now.
President Trump commenting on the impact of his tariffs on toys.
Maybe the children will have $2 instead of $30, you know?
The Federal Reserve is meeting today. CBS's Jolene Kent reports.
We expect rates to be held as the Fed tries to parse through what tariffs could be doing to the economy.
On Wall Street, the Dow was up 249 points. NASDAQ is down 65. From the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk, a crash has been cleared from I-90 eastbound near Rainier Avenue South. You're still backed up towards Seattle. Travel time rented to Seattle is 36 minutes, about what we would expect this time of day. Renton to Bellevue, 44 minutes, about 5 minutes longer. Travel times, Federal Way to Seattle, 55, Everett to Seattle, 42, and that's just about what we'd expect this time of day. Traffic brought to you by Seattle Sports. Search Seattle Sports on YouTube and click subscribe to get fresh video content daily. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Increasing showers today with highs near 60 degrees. I'm just dreaming there. It is 56 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show. It is Wednesday, May 7th, and in just a few days, this coming Sunday, it is Mother's Day, and apparently there are some people who are in a bit of a panic, including a few in this studio right now, because they have no idea what to do for their wives on Mother's Day. Yeah. And so we asked all of you, and you can still do it because I'm surprised that there aren't more of you texting in, what do mothers really want on Mother's Day? Text us, 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. Yesterday, Annette, we had to put her in the corner because she was naughty on the text line. But today she's winning because she just texted in and said, I just treated myself to an overnight at a hotel with room service, and it was glorious. If you think your wives would enjoy something like that, I highly recommend it. A day of just relaxing and doing whatever you want without having to do anything. And I'm going to tell you, Annette, that at this stage in my life anyway, that sounds absolutely glorious.
Right.
And I know that moms in the thick of momming and raising young kids, sometimes you just feel like you cannot take a day away from your kids.
The problem is my wife plans everything. So how do I get her to plan that? I'm just kidding. That's a fantastic idea. That really is a fantastic idea.
So the first thing you would do is say, Gabby, I know that you love to plan everything, but please, you were able to.
Trust me, she doesn't love planning everything.
Exactly. So I would say, I want to take care, and I think it would be, I want to take care from start to finish what is going to happen on Mother's Day, and then really show her, because I know you to be someone who is very thoughtful.
I can be.
Yes.
And I just don't want to go down like the flowers route, right?
You don't have to.
I see flowers as just being like this token thing. You know,
Unless
I don't
someone
know if
really
most
loves
women...
flowers, and there are women who really do love flowers. I'm one of them, but if it's just, it looks like you ran to Safeway at the last second and grabbed a card too, that doesn't feel right. Like, what are your ideas for Mother's Day?
I want to just keep it simple because I think that sometimes we think that financial, being able to do it up big, and you might see on social media, people posting their gifts, and I just got a brand new car and all kinds of stuff. Stay in your lane. And the number one ultimate lane is to make sure that person for Mother's Day, it is all about them. It's not Mother's Hour. It's not Mother's 30 minutes. It's Mother's Day. Don't go hang out with your partners. Don't travel out of town. Matter of fact, I'm traveling back in town Sunday morning.
Nice.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Mother's Day. It's about their day. That's it.
Now, unless she says, I would love it if you went out of town and I could have a full spa day and not have to worry about you and just have my own day. And the reason I keep bringing up spa is because it is a day of relaxation. If you can allow, and a lot of times women don't allow for self-pampering. It's like you want to take care of everybody else and you kind of overlook yourself.
Yeah.
And so I think that is a winning strategy if that is something that you think that your loved one, your mom or your partner or your wife would enjoy. Chantel from University Place says, what I don't want is leftover Mother's Day crap that my husband and kids get at Fred Meyer the night before. I would love a spa day. See, I mean, we know when someone has put some thought into it. And to what you said about not having to be really expensive, up until my kids were adults, my favorite thing was their handwritten cards, for sure.
Yeah.
And I have every single one of them. And year after year, I pull them out on days when I feel, kind of like I need a pep me up. Mm-hmm. And I'll read some of them. And I just don't dare get rid of them because you see how they've changed over the years, but some of the same themes come up. And you cannot go wrong with that. But that said, now that they do have good jobs, I'm very specific as to what I want.
Well,
and they don't mind.
And just wanted to say this because there's some folks that's also going to be going to T-Mobile Park for the Mariners game for Mother's Day. That's where I'm taking my boo for Mother's Day.
And I love that.
Taking her to the Mariners game as they take on the Toronto Blue Jays on Sunday.
And is that something that she really enjoys, or is that something more that you enjoy and she'll come along?
Oh, it's something that together we have been enjoying. So I want to take her to that experience, and then we're going to go eat some food at the ballpark. So instead of just doing let's go out to lunch or brunch, no, let's go to the ballpark, and then let's go inside of T-Mobile and eat some of the good food.
Nice.
I have not seen one woman write in on the text line and say, take me out for brunch. So far, I've not seen one woman say, get me flowers. What I see is a whole lot of women saying, I want time by myself.
Yes, spa day.
I don't know if this is new, but my wife, she gets maybe 15 minutes to half an hour to herself every day. And she's going the rest of the whole day. And I think this is a modern mom phenomenon because you have that full-time job. Mm-hmm. You're full-time parenting.
Yes.
Like, when is there time?
Yes.
There is none.
Now,
so I just want to say thanks to the moms out there because y'all are incredible.
For sure. Now, I will say that in defense of brunch, we are doing a brunch on Sunday.
Okay.
We're going to Ivar's.
Okay.
Which does a great Mother's Day brunch. I'm surprised we found a spot. It's tough.
Right.
It is really tough. You got to do it weeks in advance. Mm-hmm. But again, I mean, I think it's just if you want to be around family, I think all of us as moms also need to do a better job of being very open about what it is that we want. It's okay to ask.
We got a minute. Nick, you got any ideas for Mother's Day, bro?
Usually, it depends what age the mom is. If younger moms, they want the time off, but the older moms who have the empty nest, they want the time with the kids.
So we're having brunch together as a family. That's the best
go out to
thing.
brunch, dinner. Go for a walk in the park, something like that.
Yes.
Now, Ursula, would it be selfish of me if I ask one question on the way out?
What are you going to do for Father's Day? I know.
Wait.
I know you because I know because it was going to turn around and be about you. Your point is well taken.
All I'm saying is
Father's Day doesn't get nearly the attention.
Y'all be doing us dirty. We get only half so many pair of drawers and ties and socks. Y'all don't be giving us Father's Day. Y'all give us fathers 2 minutes.
You know exactly what we want for Father's Day. It's not complicated.
No. I'm not going to let you do that. No. We want Father's Day. We want the whole day. We want the presentation.
My gosh. You don't even give us a segment to talk about Mother's Day without throwing Father's Day in there. You just had to.
I'm just shocked that you knew my one question.
Because I worked with you for almost 6 years.
Okay, y'all. We got to talk. One of two ways. This next topic, you're either going to say, I don't care, or you're going to be really nervous.
Oh, I think there's a third way.
What's the other one? What's the
I'm
third?
excited.
Oh, you're excited about this?
About the possibilities
I'm not
of
excited.
this thing.
I'm extremely nervous.
Okay.
All right. So we'll talk about it next. Gee Ursula.
The John Curley Show.
When I was shooting at a squirrel, I was like 10 years old. I traded out. It was a high 8 film that got confused with my mom and dad's high 8 films from Singapore. And it had a woman undressing. So it was like a nudie film. I didn't even think like I was going to miss. And it went right past the squirrel. Yeah. And it hit my neighbor's a great big picture window. He got me dead to rights.
John Curley, weekdays 3 to 7 on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
When was the last time you were able to enjoy a nice hot bath at the end of a long day? If you've been avoiding it because your bathtub is disgusting and no matter how much you try to clean it, you just kind of get that grime off, it is time to do what our family did and call Bathfitter. Why Bathfitter? Well, I've done the research for you, and I've got to tell you that Bathfitter is simply the best. And here's why, specifically. At Bathfitter, they are going to handle the entire process from start to finish. They're going to design your bath. They will manufacture the materials. They will install your bath themselves. We're not talking about any subcontractors here. You're only going to be working with highly trained, trusted Bathfitter employees who've been creating dream bathrooms for so many years. When we had our bath installed, Bathfitter's designer came over to our house. She made it so easy. She helped me pick out everything, and there are so many different styles to choose from. You can pick out the type of wall, the type of tub, the fixtures, the door styles, and the colors. It all came together so beautifully, and we were thrilled with the end result. And did I mention it was all done in less than a day when the crew came over? Right now, they are offering 0% interest for 24 months, so now really is the perfect time to get that new dream bath. Call Bathfitter today or visit bathfitternw.com.
Did you know that nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all? That may be the reason why your home is way too hot in the summer and way too cold in the winter. It may also be the reason that your energy bills are sky high. Right now, Insulation Northwest is offering a free inspection of your home's insulation. This is a $199 value and it's absolutely free, no obligation. Just call today and Insulation Northwest will arrange a time that works with your schedule. We'll perform a thorough exam of your home's insulation and give you the advice you need to start saving thousands. Everyone who calls today will also receive a free infrared screening of your home using the latest technology. This will help reveal any hidden flaws in your home's protective energy blanket. What do you have to lose? It only takes about an hour and it's absolutely free. Call Insulation Northwest today, the real insulation company.
InsulationNorthwest.com. Ladies, and you guys too, have you noticed visible signs of aging, those deep wrinkles, fine lines, and facial creases stealing your youthful glow? Sagging skin, crow's feet, and loss of facial contour are all natural effects of aging, but you no longer have to let them define your appearance. Introducing the New Skin Lift, the groundbreaking facelift led by Dr. Brian Scott. The advanced New Skin Lift addresses key signs of facial aging for women and men, restoring natural youthful contours. Whether it's replenishing volume lost over time or lifting the skin to smooth out those creases, the New Skin Lift can help you look 10 to 20 years younger with both surgical and non-surgical options. It's Hollywood's best-kept secret and now available to you. Get a free consultation and save $250 off your New Skin facelift. Schedule at newskinlift.com or 206-222-1225. Look 10 to 20 years younger and restore your youthful appearance with the New Skin facelift. newskinlift.com.
Nearly everyone wants to grow old in their own home. Yet, according to research conducted by Stanford University, 70% of Americans will not achieve this goal, despite having done a lot of retirement planning. Now, why does this happen? Hi, I'm Rajiv Nagaich, an elder law attorney who's been studying this phenomena for the last 20 plus years. The problem isn't the planning that you do. The problem is what you haven't been told. That's why retirement becomes a nightmare. Now, if you're wondering what you haven't been told, come to one of my retirement seminars this month. I'll shine the spotlight in all the dark corners so you can retire with confidence.
Join the free seminar in Federal Way on May 13th, Tacoma on May 15th, or Bellevue on May 17th. Register at lifepointlaw.com. That's lifepointlaw.com. Or call 253-838-3454.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s, and less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-917-4635, and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-917-4635. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-917-4635 now to secure your $10 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-917-4635.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement, and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hard-working partners. So they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
Hey, good morning, everybody. It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Happy Wednesday to all of you. Hey, coming up at 10 o'clock, Angela Poe Russell is going to come in and share her real ID experience and how she actually had to wait in a long line. Yeah, she'll join us at 10 o'clock to explain.
So many people are like, real ID. Can we have a real ID free day? No, today is the day. Today is the day.
Okay.
But nothing happened.
Question. Do you have a job? If you do, you should be worried. According to the CEO of the freelance platform Fiverr, Micah Kaufman wrote an email to all 775 of his employees with a warning. Quote, it does not matter if you're a programmer, designer, product manager, data scientist, lawyer, customer support rep, salesperson, or a finance person. AI is coming for you. Kaufman included himself among the workers at risk of being replaced. According to Kaufman, within a matter of months, easy tasks won't exist and difficult tasks will become easy. Kaufman says, if you do not become an exceptional talent at what you do, a master, you will face the need for a career change in a matter of months. McKinsey reports predicts that by 2030, AI could automate 30% of the U.S. workforce. A Goldman Sachs report found that AI could eliminate 300 million jobs globally and automate 2/3 of work in the U.S. and Europe. So, what should you do? Learn AI. Kaufman says your value will decrease before you know what hit you if you don't know how to generate AI. Use generative AI. Ursula?
Okay, so a couple of things. These kind of doom and gloom things about AI, they're really coming out now. And in fact, my son was telling me to download an audio book about AI. And right now, the title of it is escaping me, but my husband actually put his name on the waiting list. I'll get it before the end of the show. And it goes into some of the dangers and some of the perils of AI, but it also talks about the endless opportunities when it comes to artificial intelligence. But I want to know, just from our listening audience right now, how many of you, when you hear AI, your eyes roll, or it just goes in one ear and out the other, and you're like, this is not affecting me, or this really does not concern me right now, or I don't even know what they're talking about. I would be curious. Text us, 888-973-5476, 888-973-KIRO. Because I'm hearing just more and more from people who are saying, yeah, I'm starting to use it in my job. I know that you use it more and more for our job. Mm-hmm. I use it more and more for some of the things that we try to research and get information really quickly. Mm-hmm. And there are so many positive applications. But I still believe, and it's maybe naive of me, but while there are a lot of jobs that are going to be eliminated, I still think that there are going to be a lot of jobs that are also created. And there are going to be also opportunities that are created. And I think that AI can be very negative. And if the intent is to use it in a nefarious way, but I think there's also, again, great things that can happen, whether it's revolutionizing healthcare or revolutionizing some of the most tedious tasks that we do, whether it's in dealing with global supply chain or whatever. There are certain things that it's going to make so much better and so much more efficient, where that talent can be used elsewhere. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to look at the positive of it.
Yeah. But you need to tell the truth about this. So when we start telling the truth about this email is a real email. This is going to happen. Yeah. I'll just give a simple example. Sometimes organization might have this group or this department, hey, you all are tasked with, for this week, we need you to come up with a mission statement, a new slogan for our company. We need some new marketing plans. We need a new employee onboarding system. We need all this done this week. And that's with 5-6 people. Mm-hmm. Right now, you can do everything that I just said in less than 5 minutes. If that.
So what do you do with this information? So become a master at whatever it is that you do. Be exceptional. I think that's something that you should strive to do always.
But that's the thing about being exceptional, is that not everyone can be exceptional by definition.
Yeah, so what do you do?
What do you do? I mean...
Learn AI.
No. Either that or get into a career where you work with people, you work with your hands, you touch physical things.
Yes.
Because those will be bulletproof. But a lot of those careers are also the lowest paying in our society. If you're talking about the service industry, if you're talking about healthcare, the majority of jobs that are either entry level or available to people with little training don't pay much.
Yeah,
and there's no plan for that.
And a lot of those jobs also could be in jeopardy. But
I got a little bit of a hint in PSA for you. If you work from home and you're able to do your job from home, ask yourself, at some point, can some of my job be done with AI? That's a real question.
Uh-huh.
Like these.
I mean, our jobs, at some point, they can have AI talk show hosts.
Absolutely.
They absolutely will be able to. The only thing they can't do right now, I'm gonna go to the Mariners game this Sunday. On Monday, I'm gonna tell you guys about the Mariners game, who I saw, who I ran into. AI can't do that. So there's still a little bit of stuff that we have left, but not much. More next on the Gee Ursula Show.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-838-6161. That's 800-838-6161. 800-838-6161.
When we reach our golden years, it's natural to want to stay in our homes. We've worked hard for them, but as our minds and bodies age, the home can become an unsafe place where loneliness thrives. Amanda here for Care Partners Senior Living. Our communities offer safe living spaces and managed common areas with medical professionals on site and ready to help. We assist you with your mobility when needed, allowing you to socialize or participate in activities whenever you like. Care Partners Senior Living provides both privacy and socialization at your desired pace. You aren't living alone in our communities because help is always nearby. And believe it or not, community living can be more cost-effective than in-home care. With locations throughout Washington and Arizona, you'll find a Care Partners community near you. Care, it's in our name and what we do. Learn more at carepartnersliving.com.
With 30 communities, including Covington, Bremerton, Snohomish, and the grand opening of North Creek Bothell, there's quality senior care at an affordable price near you. Visit carepartnersliving.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. Northwest News.
Sharp Vision Modern LASIK and Lens has given me back clear vision. The process was simple and easy. I scheduled my free consultation and discovered I was at the early stage of cataracts and a perfect candidate for RLE. They restored clarity and brightness to my vision like when I was in my 20s, and I'll never need readers again and never develop cataracts. Sharp Vision Modern LASIK and Lens are taking RLE surgery to the next level. Call them now at 425-451-2020 or go online to sharp-vision.com, official eye care provider of Sounders FC.
This is Jill Schlesinger. May is Military Appreciation Month, and I know how much I appreciate the military. I married into a military family. I hear from so many members of the military, and Navy Federal Credit Union wants us to celebrate those who go above and beyond for us every day. If you're active duty, a veteran, or part of a military family, you're eligible to join. At Navy Federal Credit Union, the members are the mission. Learn more at NavyFederal.org/celebrate. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
Ooh, ma. What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud Phone System. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very...
Calm, I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News. This is CBS News on the Hour. Sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Steve Kathan. American Timothy Dolan takes the oath of secrecy along with 132 other cardinals from 70 countries, and now the huge doors of the Sistine Chapel have been closed for deliberations on a new pope. CBS's Chris Livesay in Rome.
They will be locked in there, cut off from TV, internet, cell phones, magazines, newspapers. The only thing that's supposed to influence their decision-making is the Holy Spirit.
Here at home, interest is high among Catholics.
Outside of Holy Spirit Catholic Church in Atlanta, Robert tells me he's hopeful for the church's future.
I hope there's a pope that increases belief in the real presence of the Eucharist and increases mass attendance and whoever God deems that to be.
Anna Gawasak says she's going into this with peace, and she'll be watching.
Because at the end of the day, I'm like, the Holy Spirit is in charge. It's his church, not ours, and so his will be done, and we pray.
Other parishioners telling me they will be praying for the cardinals as they begin the secretive process. Jonathan O'Brien for CBS News, Atlanta.
It's been an adventure for some travelers today at the airport as real ID rules have kicked in.
We were supposed to go get our ID, our real ID. We didn't know how serious it was, but as long as we knew that we had our passport, hopefully everything's good right now, but we're going to find out right now.
A passport is fine. A standard driver's license isn't, and those flyers will have to undergo extra scrutiny. Federal appeals court has okayed a judge's order to bring a Tufts University student from a Louisiana detention center back to Vermont for hearings to determine whether the Turkish woman's rights were violated. She was detained, or has been, that is, for 6 weeks. President Trump wants Federal Reserve policymakers to lower interest rates. CBS's Jill Schlesinger says at the close of their two-day meeting today, they're likely to leave them unchanged.
Fed Chair Jerome Powell is likely to say that they want to see more data before deciding what to do next.
On the Health Watch, CBS's Michael George tells us child flu deaths in this country are at their highest level in 15 years.
The CDC reported 216 children have died during this flu season, the most since the 2009-2010 swine flu pandemic.
Doctors say the biggest factor is that fewer children are getting flu shots, with vaccination levels dropping from 64% 5 years ago to 49% this season.
A federal judge has ordered the Education Department to undo a freeze on the last of the relief money given to schools to help students recover academically from the pandemic. Wall Street, right now the Dow is up 370 points. The S&P is up 22. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive. Protect your auto, home, and business with Progressive and get 24/7 coverage. See if you can save at Progressive.com. That's Progressive.com.
What a local city is doing about its speeding problem. That's one of the stories coming up. But first, from the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk. In Renton, a crash is blocking 2 lanes and part of the HOV lane on I-405 northbound near State Route 167. You're jammed up on 405 back to the Tukwila Family Fun Center, and traffic really doesn't break free until you reach May Creek. Travel time Renton to Bellevue 40 minutes, about 10 longer than usual. Traffic brought to you by Wilcox Farms. Cage-free eggs are good, free range are better, and mobile pasture are the best. Choose the best. Locally fresh Wilcox Family Farms eggs.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. A strike is looming at SeaTac Airport, where 150 aircraft fuelers have voted to walk out if they don't get a new contract. KIRO 7 TV's Jason Sloss reports.
Many fuelers make little more than minimum wage. They're asking for better pay and improved working conditions.
They don't stock toilet paper, hand towels, nothing.
Jamie Fleming with Teamsters Local 174 says
these people smell like jet fuel at the end of the day. They should have some facilities available to them so they don't have to go home to their families smelling like that.
If there is a strike, who puts fuel in the planes? Swissport has informed SEA it has a contingency plan ready to go, and Fleming says it appears the company is making a move to bring in outside workers.
Another round of talks is set for tomorrow. If you are heading to the airport, you now need real ID to fly domestically. If you don't have your enhanced driver's license, you can use federal ID like this man at SeaTac Airport.
Got my passport. Got my merchant marine ID, all that stuff.
If you don't have federal ID either, you can still fly. You'll just have to undergo more security screening. The FBI is now offering a $10,000 reward for the arrest and conviction of people who point lasers into the cockpits of airplanes. Doing that can temporarily blind pilots. Since March of 2024, the number of laser incidents has increased dramatically at SeaTac and Spokane International Airport. Seattle police are searching for the shooter who injured a man and woman yesterday near a section of Aurora Avenue that reported 30 shootings last summer.
Police say there was a disturbance and then gunfire. Here's SPD Detective Brian Pritchard.
The male had a shot to his foot and the female had a shot to her right thigh. They believe that the shots were actually possibly ricocheted off the ground.
Detective Pritchard says the gunman fled the scene on a Metro bus. In Seattle, James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Bellevue police are cracking down on speeders after issuing nearly 1,000 speeding tickets in the first quarter of this year. That's 163% more than the same time period last year. Officer Drew Anderson.
The faster your car is going, the longer it takes for you to stop, and it is increasing the risk of danger to the public.
He says the department is conducting emphasis patrols every weekend this month to catch speeders. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Increasing showers today with highs near 60. It's 57 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Good morning, everybody. It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Grateful that you guys are with us. Happy Wednesday, May 7th. Good morning, Ursula.
Good morning. Hey, coming up at 10:30, we are going to talk about an entirely different application of AI. And this one, we're going to have you all weigh in as to how you would feel about this. The other thing is, over the break, my son sent me the title of the book. It's called The Coming Wave. And it's described as a stark and urgent warning on the unprecedented risks that a wave of fast-developing technologies poses to global order and how we might contain them while we still have the chance. And it was written by a co-founder of the pioneering company DeepMind when it comes to AI.
How many people
coming wave.
How many people went to school for coding to learn the code?
You're like, gotta learn something new. Gotta learn something new. 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO.
What's new at 10?
It is Real ID Day at the airport. You probably have heard that by now. The big fat lines that were supposed to happen at the airport have not happened yet, but you are still going to need a real ID at some point. And Thomas Carlson with the State Licensing Department tells KIRO 7 TV that delays at the licensing offices could last a while.
Don't know when we'll see some relief at our driver licensing offices for the foreseeable future. We do have appointments that are booked out either 45 or 60 days in advance in our urban areas.
So let's bring in our friend and colleague, Angela Poe Russell, who is fresh off of her own Real ID experience. Hey, Angela.
Hi, good morning. Yes, I was that person at the licensing office yesterday. That person. TV cameras there, all the deals. So
how did it go?
It actually went well, and because I booked an appointment a long time ago, as you all know, my husband, he likes to plan ahead. He's like, you need to get your real ID. So I made an appointment, weeks ago. And so I had this appointment. What I thought was interesting and notable that I think everybody could benefit from is that it's a hot mess. Like, the lines are ridiculous. I got there hours before my appointment in hopes I could, get them right when they open and just get an early start to the day. And the line was wrapped around the corner before the doors even opened. So I just abandoned that idea. I came back at my appointment time. The people that were there hours earlier were still there. Some folks had been there 3 hours, and I was in and out in 30 minutes.
Nice.
So having that appointment makes a difference. The thing that I would say, though, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, because I've tried to get an appointment and I can't even sign up on on any of the websites at the moment, or the last time I tried.
Exactly. That's what's going on. I talked to the manager yesterday, or one of the spokespeople for the Department of Licensing, and he said that he looked out, when I personally tried to go in and look, this was yesterday, Seattle had no appointments. Redmond had one appointment in July. So that's how bad it is. The tip that he gave me, he says, if you go into the website early in the morning, they'll sometimes have new appointment times in there.
Oh.
So, yeah, that was, and I'm waiting there.
Or be willing to wait. I mean, I heard someone say it was 3 hours, really early in the morning. It was 3 hour wait.
Yeah, it's crazy. I felt bad. But having that appointment, if you're somehow... Here's the deal. If you have a passport, maybe you just book your appointment later in the summer and just travel with your passport for right now. I mean, obviously, if you need it and you don't have a passport, then, waiting is going to be the only option. But, I would definitely, the appointment's the way to go if you can figure that out.
Let me give everyone a life hack. Just find some very small town and take a road trip and go drive. I'm telling you, it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission. But here's my question for you, Angela Poe Russell. So you just had your appointment. You're in and out in 30 minutes. When did you set that appointment for the Real ID?
About 3 weeks ago.
Okay, so 3 weeks ago. So in the month of April, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what made you decide to set that appointment in April, a month before the deadline, as opposed to not doing this before?
You're trying to
No, I'm just curious. I'm just doing my job.
Let me just say. It's funny you say that because I saw a reporter yesterday kindly try to ask a woman the same question. He's like, so what made you wait until the last minute? It's like, because I'm busy, dude. Just stop. Anyway, what made you do that? Listen,
We've only had 20 years. We have only had 20 years. Hey, I'm with you, by the way, Angela. I don't even have mine yet. So, you've got one. I don't.
Well, here's the crazy. Let me just answer this for you. If it weren't for my husband, I didn't even said it then. So all I can say is procrastination is procrastination. I mean, it is what it is. I have no excuse.
Yes.
And
we have passports.
So my man Vic, I just want to make sure we're on right. So Vic has had his, correct?
Oh yeah, he got his a couple weeks ago. Yep.
Oh, just a couple weeks ago. Gee.
Oh, just a couple
there
weeks
you
ago.
Go. Okay, yeah.
Come on, Vic.
Yeah.
I thought you had it before.
Angela, thank you. Great advice.
Thank you for having me. And I'll
check in the mornings.
I'll see you later this week.
Yes, absolutely.
Hey, Angela, is your head okay from the Amazon trip to the store?
Oh my gosh, I have a slight headache, but I'm okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So did you already talk about that?
No. Angela, you got hit by a basketball with some teenagers in the Amazon store?
Yes. Yep. Got hit in the head.
Why are they in the Amazon store?
They're supposed to be at school.
Exactly.
They're supposed to be at school. Yeah, they're supposed to be at school. So I did grandma on them and kind of gave them a little bit of a lecture. And then one of the employees said, "Yeah, we're not allowed to typically talk to them. We're not allowed to talk to them." But the security got them out, and within 10 minutes, they tried to come back.
How did your lecture sound, Angela? What did you say?
Oh, it wasn't. Think about. I'm from Florida, which we call Floribama. So think Floribama, 1972, and maybe a curse word or two.
Thanks, Angela.
Why are they even throwing a basketball in an Amazon store? Angela, thank you.
All right. Thank you for having me. Take care.
Hey, let's look at what is going on in Pierce County right now, because it is the latest local government to file a lawsuit against the Trump administration over these new requirements now to get federal grant money. In a statement, Executive Ryan Mello says the administration is putting new terms and conditions on local governments that he says are unlawful and coercive. The News Tribune reports that Pierce County's homelessness response got nearly $5 million from HUD last year alone to help fund 10 different housing and homeless programs through the end of 2025. And earlier this month, a coalition of 8 local governments, including King County and Pierce County, filed a lawsuit in U.S. District Court against HUD and the Federal Transit Administration. And according to the legal complaint, the administration's grant requirements outline that no local government can use grant money that could subsidize illegal immigration. The lawsuit also points out that the order seeks to ensure that grant money does not promote gender ideology and prevents any programs which promote DEI. And so these local governments are saying these terms such as gender ideology and DEI are overbroad and too difficult to define. They also argue enforcing the requirements would put them at risk of violating anti-discrimination laws.
Yeah, this should be alarming for everyone. And if you go back to the 80s and you see what Ronald Reagan did with the divesting from social programs across the country, they did a lot of that. And we all know and remember the economic plan then was for there to be a trickle down. And here we are today with federal funds being being held from states and saying, hey, you want this money? If you want this money, these are the programs that you can invest in, and these are the programs you cannot give to.
Yeah, and if anything even sniffs of DEI, you're losing your money.
Yeah. And so right now, what's happening across the country is we are starting now to see a lot of nonprofits lose funding. And remember why we have nonprofits in the first place. These nonprofits across the country are basically gap fillers, organizations that fill the gaps that local and national government aren't able to fill. Mm-hmm. Either they don't want to or they just don't. We will continue to start talking about programs going away, being able to say, hey, I'm a single mom, or I'm a single dad, or I'm on fixed income. There's going to be a lot of services that will go away that used to be here all the time. And it's unfortunate that we are politicizing organizations or situations out here in this way. And all that's going to help happen is our people in our communities will hurt. And it doesn't matter if you're Republican. It doesn't matter if you're Democrat. It doesn't matter if you're liberal. It doesn't matter anything about your politics. So right now, you might be okay. But who knows what happens tomorrow?
I read something actually in Danny Westneat's column, and he was talking about at a recent meeting, King County's budget director told the county council that he is waiting for a federal government that doesn't exist anymore. Now, the person who was speaking is Dwight Dively, and just having covered the news for many, many years, this is a guy who really doesn't usually engage in political hyperbole. He warned the council that this was a quote, we may be in a different world now where there isn't anybody there on the federal level for different jurisdictions. And he said so Danny Westneat had attended this meeting this week where Dively was describing how groups of federally funded King County employees are just losing their jobs left and right with no notice to them, no notice to us, he says. They're just gone. And then he says he was pointing out that the county has lost workers in its emergency management division, public health, federal partners working on King County projects in the Army Corps of Engineers, the Environmental Protection Agency, FEMA. And he gave some examples. One was, for example, a project to replace an old 1930s timber bridge over the Skykomish River in the town of Bering. And that project requires a whole bunch of federal environmental permits, and they have the funding to replace it. They were ready to go, and all of a sudden it's like, well, there's only, in the entire country, there are now only 6 people left to do those kinds of permits. So it could be many, many years before that's going to happen when they were just ready to get started. Another one is the cleanup of the Duwamish River. I mean, as long as I've been reporting in the city of Seattle, we've been talking about the cleanup of the Duwamish River. And so, again, you don't realize what is happening until it impacts you. And because of all the chaos that we cover on a daily basis of, let's call the Gulf of Mexico this and that, and, Canada being the 51st state, et cetera, there are these things that are actually happening that have very real impacts right now.
Right. I'll ask you this, Ursula. Between city and rural areas across the country, who will feel the impact of everything that's going on first? Cities or rural areas?
A lot of rural areas. Absolutely.
And I'm just saying, I'm bringing that up because it goes back to what you just explained about him saying that, before long, who knows if we're going to have somebody on the other side, the federal government, and we're going to be able to depend on that money. So let's just say, look at states that would be able to survive without the federal money. And now let's look at states who depend, like so much depend. Kentucky, the state of Kentucky. Do you all know how much they need in federal dollars? Now, of course, they'll probably get it because it's a red state. But again, I just want to say that it's amazing to me the people that have given in their vote and their support will probably feel the impact first, and that's rural areas.
I think you're right. But even in non-rural areas and some of the things that we just discussed, I mean, there are people who are losing their jobs left and right and no notice, no nothing, and they are going to have very real impacts. Just real quick, you might have seen that Canada has a new prime minister, and Mark Carney actually visited the White House yesterday. And one of the things that's been happening a lot with the administration, I'll give him credit, a lot of it we're seeing, it's a much more open, it's much more transparent. And so we get to see what is happening. And in that meeting, President Trump said, yes, he is still envisioning a 51st state.
When you look at that beautiful formation when it's together, I'm a very artistic person, but when I looked at that beauty, I said, that's the way it was meant to be. But, I do feel it's much better for Canada. But we're not going to be discussing that unless somebody wants to discuss it. I think that there are tremendous benefits to the Canadian citizens, tremendously lower taxes, free military, which honestly we give you essentially anyway because we're protecting Canada if you ever had a problem. But I think it would really be a wonderful marriage because it's two places that get along very well. They like each other a lot.
Well, if I may, as you know from real estate, there are some places that are never for sale.
That's true.
We're sitting in one right now, Buckingham Palace, that you visited as well.
That's true.
And having met with the owners of Canada over the course of the campaign last several months, it's not for sale, won't be for sale ever. But the opportunity is in the partnership and what we can build together. And we have done that in the past. And part of that, as the president just said, is with respect to our own security. And my government is committed for a step change in our investment in Canadian security and our partnership. And I'll say this as well, that the president has revitalized international security, revitalized NATO, and us playing our full weight.
Jeez, man.
I will say, I knew very little about Mark Carney, but I have gained a whole lot of respect for him.
I mean, if a sixth grader was sitting there talking to Donald Trump, you would have the same admiration for a sixth grader. When I hear Donald Trump have a conversation and the way he tries to talk down on that person, and then I get to remember why we are here in the first place. When you had Barack Obama in office, and some of you all love this word, you love how articulate he was and so well-spoken. And you look back and you think back to Barack Obama speaking to the press, speaking to the country, and then you listen to Barack Obama, and then you listen to Donald Trump. This is why some people get so upset by the educated man and the dumb one. Because when you put them next to each other, it really stands out. And I get it. It's embarrassing. It must be triggering for you to hear Donald Trump speak and then hear Barack Obama speak, because you can see the separation. The same privilege that Donald Trump has had, the same rich life that he's had, and then Barack Obama has had the life he's had. How did Barack Obama become so much smarter than Donald Trump? How did Donald Trump almost go to prison? How did Donald Trump be found liable for sexual assault? How did that happen? It's almost like a privileged person didn't take advantage of it. He didn't take advantage of being born on third base. And here it is, Barack Obama. He goes to speak and he makes you sound dumb. I probably triggered everybody, but I had to get that off my chest.
Well, if you have a chance to see the interview and the discussions with the new Canadian Prime Minister, Mark Carney, I would love to hear your thoughts. Text us, 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO.
Coming up next, Ursula, we go on AI again? AI, but this is a very serious situation. We'll talk about that next. Gee Ursula.
This hour is brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington.
KIRO Newsradio, the Northwest's trusted news source.
Get the latest from KIRO Newsradio's James Lynch.
It happened Wednesday morning just after 6 o'clock.
Experienced voices you trust.
Several people hurt after a violent Saturday in Pierce County.
Coverage you depend on.
More from KIRO Newsradio's Matt Markovich.
It's as close to a veto warning as you could possibly get.
KIRO Newsradio. We're on YouTube, our app, your smart speaker, and 97.3 FM.
Nobody should drink and drive. It's dangerous. DUI Heroes cares for their clients as people, individuals who have made a mistake. DUI Heroes will not treat you like a criminal. They're clients. They will be heard and understood. They will be valued and they will be seen. DUI Heroes, your DUI defense specialist, DUIHeroes.com.
Before taking your next flight, you'll need to be prepared. Start off with a visit to realidwa.com.
New ID requirements for travel are here.
There are multiple forms of ID you can use.
Whatever option you choose, make sure you have it with you before heading to the airport.
That way, you can travel stress-free.
Make sure you're prepared so you can relax and enjoy your flight.
Real ID has arrived.
Visit realidwa.com.
Sharp Vision Modern LASIK and Lens has given me back clear vision. They've performed over 80,000 successful lens replacement surgeries. At Sharp Vision, you'll get the best price combined with the best experience. Sharp-vision.com. That's sharp with an E, -vision.com.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear. Call me Papa Bear because I'm grilling up dinner. Do you get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
We were the Humane Society of the United States. 70 years of fighting for animals. Today, we are called Humane World for Animals, a name that reflects our unstoppable commitment to end animal cruelty globally. Humane World for Animals, the end of animal cruelty.
Right now at Les Schwab Tires, it's the Best for Less sales event. Save up to $120 instantly on a set of 4 tires. Choose from a wide selection of some of our longest-lasting, best-performing tires. Plus, you'll get America's best tire warranty, 60-day satisfaction guarantee, no hassle road hazard protection, and free maintenance for the life of your tires. Just another way you'll get more from less. Stop by a store or shop online at leschwab.com. Limited time offer while supplies last. See leschwab.com/sale for details.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s, and less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-917-4635, and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-917-4635. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-917-4635 now to secure your $10 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-917-4635.
Your new beginning starts now. D.R. Horton has new construction homes available throughout the greater Seattle area. With spacious floor plans, flexible living spaces, and home technology packages, you can enjoy more cozy moments and sweet memories in your beautiful new home. With new home communities opening throughout the Seattle area, D.R. Horton has the ideal home for you. Visit drhorton.com to learn more. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
If you're thinking about renovating an attic, spending more time in your sunroom, or building onto your home, a Carrier ductless unit is the perfect solution for climate control. It's efficient, quiet, and incredibly flexible when it comes to installation because there's no ductwork required. It's just one more way we're making your home totally comfortable.
Your local Carrier heating and cooling dealer will improve your home's comfort, air quality, and efficiency. Visit CarrierNorthwest.com to find the expert near you. Carrier, turn to the experts.
Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit muckleshootcasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot. KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch.
Etego Albertus Cardinalis Patavendige Don Spondeo Voveo Acuro.
Cardinals take a vow of secrecy at the Vatican as they begin an 800-year-old tradition today to select a new pope. Americans are watching.
It's history happening right in front of us.
Pro-Palestinian protesters who barricaded themselves at the University of Washington Engineering Building did about $1 million worth of damage. That's according to KIRO 7 TV. More than 30 people were arrested. 4 appeared in court yesterday, and more are expected to face a judge today. Today is the deadline to have real ID to fly domestically in the U.S. If you don't have your enhanced Washington state driver's license, you'll have to undergo lengthy screening at the airport. Sophia told KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey she put off getting it to the last minute.
3 months. I'm joking.
Mom says that's not true.
I don't know.
Were you at the DMV yesterday?
I was. That's when we got it. Yeah.
So you're all set.
Yes, we are all set.
Real ID is supposed to make air travel safer. If you're heading into Canada at Blaine, be prepared for an extra customs checkpoint.
The extra checkpoint was up last Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, according to Global News. In some cases, Border Patrol officers reportedly opened people's car doors and looked through their vehicles and trunks.
I'm not bringing anything back that's illegal, so they're not going to find anything. It would just, delay my trip home.
U.S. Customs and Border Protection says it routinely conducts inspections on outbound traffic, which it says are vital in catching fugitives and seizing contraband. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
Despite President Trump's insistence that Canada become the 51st state and Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney saying no, CBS's Nancy Cordes says the two had a good meeting.
He still had President Trump laughing, and after he left, President Trump had only glowing things to say about Carney and how much he likes him.
President Trump's tariffs will likely prompt the Federal Reserve to leave interest rates where they are when they meet today. CBS's Jason Brooks explains.
Fed members have been insistent that they need more data on the impact of tariffs before making a move with interest rates, and members have been concerned about inflation remaining elevated.
It was high inflation that prompted the Fed to raise rates in the first place. On Wall Street, the Dow was up 331 points, NASDAQ down about 8. From the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk in Seattle, a disabled vehicle is blocking a lane from I-5 southbound to Spokane Street. In Renton, a crash is blocking 2 lanes on I-405 northbound near State Route 167. You're jammed up on 405 back to the Tukwila Family Fun Center. And remember, construction has you slow on State Route 18 from the Tiger Mountain Summit up to I-90. Traffic brought to you by Seattle Sports. You can always listen to your favorite local sports content on the FM dial on 97.3 HD2. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Increasing showers today with highs near 60. It's 57 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show, and we're going to talk about artificial intelligence again because, it's already changing the world, and it is showing up in places where you probably never would have imagined it would. And, for example, for the first time ever, a man who was killed in a road rage incident was resurrected with AI so that he could give his own victim impact statement at his killer's sentencing. Chris Pelkey was killed in a road rage shooting in Chandler, Arizona back in 2021, and his sister, Stacey Wales, spent 3 years gathering impact statements from over 40 people who Chris knew. And just to explain, at sentencing, victim impact statements that helps you're able to present your case as to why whoever is the perpetrator could get a longer sentence. And so you have people who line up and say either this is the damage that they've done to our family, or the defendant would also bring in someone who says this is why he deserves a break. So anyway, she told ABC 15 Arizona that all she kept thinking about before the sentencing is, what would my brother want to say? And so their brother Tim fed videos and images of Chris into an AI program to create an AI video that could actually speak for him.
It became so real that I broke down in tears.
Tim prompted AI with old video, audio, and a good photo of their brother. It took a few days. Their victim rights attorney, Jessica Gattuso, was reluctant at first. Is this even legal?
Our law in Arizona says that victims can give their victim impact statement they have the discretion to choose how they give their victim impact statement, and this is how they chose to do so. So yes, it's absolutely legal.
Here's Chris in a real recording before his death.
Just like Jesus says, love God and love people.
And here's the AI version forgiving the shooter, scripted by Stacy.
It is a shame we encountered each other that day in those circumstances. In another life, we probably could have been friends. I believe in forgiveness and in God who forgives. I always have, and I still do.
I love that AI. Thank you for that.
For the Pelkey family, they found justice and a measure of peace, especially after one of Stacy's children reacted to seeing Uncle Chris one more time.
Mom and Dad, thank you so much for making that. I needed to hear from Uncle Chris one last time, and that meant so much. Thank you. And that is not what this was intended to do, but the result of having it be a healing piece for anybody who saw it was just such a beneficial result.
I know that it's crazy, but I can imagine how that was very comforting.
Yeah, but I don't think that should be allowed in the courtroom. I disagree with that. I disagree with having an AI version of that read those impact statements in his voice, and I don't agree with that. Now, you want to do that with?
Now, why?
I think that is. It shouldn't be in the courtroom. I think that's prejudicial towards his sentencing. I'm sure that I believe that would lead to him getting a more harsh sentence because of that type of impact.
But he's not able to speak. Because he's dead now. But these are, you make it clear that this is something that is AI. The jury knows that. The judge knows that. You're not trying to protect, obviously. But he doesn't have a chance to speak for himself.
It's fiction, though. He's not speaking for himself, right? His sister created the statement.
Yes.
Part of what you bring up is the fact that it's prejudicial. Victim impact statements are legal everywhere, but there's a lot of requirements in a lot of places.
Yes.
Like some places it's only written, or it can be X amount of time, because defense attorneys know, and they protest the fact, like, you can really sway a jury with some crocodile tears in certain cases where it may not be warranted. And sometimes those victim impact statements actually go for the defendant too. They ask the judge to be lenient.
Yeah.
But this is bizarre.
I'm keeping it simple. Like I said, I think it's great. You want to do that for the family. You want to have the family. You want to get together. That is not. I don't think that should be allowed in the courtroom. It should not be. If that's the case, if you do allow that to happen, then okay. Then down the road, when it's time for closing arguments. When it's time for closing arguments for the prosecution in the prosecution of someone that is maybe defending themselves in a murder case, then let the prosecution use AI and let AI do the closing statements for the rest of that time, the victim. No, I disagree. None of that AI in there. That should be illegal.
And I think that's one of the things that's going to need to be addressed, and one of the things that is confronting us as society with all these different things that AI can do. It's like, what's to regulate it? What are the limitations as to how it can be used? Companies have to come up, courts have to come up with what is allowed, what is not allowed. So there's a lot that we just don't know today.
Another aspect is, like, we've kind of talked about creating an AI chatbot before of a dead loved one.
Yes. It's kind of cool.
But you could interact with a video version of a dead relative, right? Which also, it seems like it would either be very comforting or very damaging.
I can't even, the crazy thing is about this topic, I just don't even see how it would even be close to allowing something like this. Could you also imagine, hey, we're going to call our final witness. Our final witness is going to be the victim. And here's an AI statement coming from them.
Oh, my gosh.
What? Was it allowed?
It was allowed, yeah. And the judge said he appreciated it.
Yeah, there you go. So
I don't think it would fly here, though.
Yeah.
I heard the story. I know it was allowed. I'm just saying it should not be allowed. That's the conversation.
Sure.
Coming up next, we'll do scenarios. Gee and Ursula.
Jake and Spike.
Is pickleball a real sport?
It's the official state sport of Washington. It's a sport.
A real sport.
I was at an event this weekend, and these guys were talking pickleball. I'm like, oh, you guys play fat tennis? These guys, they're dead serious about their pickleballing.
Now, why do you think that is? Why don't they take it?
They enjoy it.
I love to lay on a hammock. I'm not a professional at it.
Not a professional. If you could be, you would be. Though,
I could be, I would be.
Here.
The Jake and Spike Show.
Weekdays, noon to 3.
On KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Hi, my name is Rajiv Nagaich. Ever since I became an elder law attorney more than 20 years ago, I've helped thousands of people in the Seattle area retire with more confidence about their future. I'd like to invite you to one of my retirement planning seminars this month. Learn how to protect your estate from long-term care costs. Live out your years where you choose, even if you get sick, without becoming a burden on people you love the most. Learn how to use the Safe Harbor Trust to protect your estate from threats most people overlook. Come to the seminar and I'll show you how it's done.
Join the free seminar in Federal Way on May 13th, Tacoma on May 15th, or Bellevue on May 17th. Register at lifepointlaw.com. That's lifepointlaw.com. Or call 253-838-3454. 253-838-3454.
The doctor's office that accidentally mixed up your files has your social security number. The power company that mistakenly cut your service has your payment info. And the hotel that lost your reservation has your passport number. You need LifeLock because your personal info is in endless places that can expose you to identity thieves. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
My name is Ariel. I moved to the U.S. at 19. I spoke no English and I struggled finding job opportunities. Everything I have, I owe to the Adult Literacy Center and getting my high school diploma at age 22.
It was an honor helping you achieve your greatness. Now you're helping others achieve theirs. It inspires me.
When you graduate, they graduate. Find free and supportive adult education centers near you at finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Get ready for Camping World's Red, White, and New trade event, May 15th through the 18th. Get the highest value for your RV guaranteed during the biggest RV trade event of the year. Shop the best RV deals in America with new RVs starting as low as $92 a month. Get ready for the holiday weekend with up to 45% off grills and 25% off product installation. Plus, we'll have free hats, free propane refills, free food, and fun for the whole family. Don't miss the incredible Red, White, and New trade event, May 15th through the 18th at your local Camping World.
See with the full details and disclaimer.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Worried about your battery and the heat? We get it. You don't want to get stranded somewhere with a car that feels like an oven. We've got you covered at AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination. Our free battery testing and charging service can help. And if you need a battery, we'll help you find a new one, no problem. Power through with free battery testing and charging at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
It's clogged again.
Your drain?
Just had it cleared.
You didn't call Apollo Plumbing.
How can you tell?
Because your drain's clogged again.
So frustrating.
We can clear that drain.
That's what the last guy said.
We'll clear it, guaranteed.
He said that too.
Apollo Plumbing will clear your drain or it's free.
Wait, what?
Apollo Plumbing clears your drain.
Or it's free?
Yep.
What's the catch?
No catch.
Fine print?
Apollo Plumbing clears your main drain for $83.
$83 or it's free?
And we'll even give you a camera inspection.
Because?
It's the best way to find what's causing your clog.
But that's extra.
Nope, included.
No extra charge?
Not 1 cent.
$83 or it's free.
All it takes is an accessible outside cleanout.
And an Apollo plumber.
No clog is safe from Apollo Plumbing.
And just like that, my main drain is...
draining again.
How can you...
Apollo plumbers are that good.
$83 or it's free.
You call, we come.
My drain's draining again.
Guaranteed.
$83 or it's free.
As it should be.
Apollo Plumbing.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
Hi, it's John Curley. Longevity Medical Clinic is your best plan for long-term well-being and personalized health care. Dr. Mixon, let me ask you a question. How long have some of your patients been working with you?
And we've got patients now that have been with us for over 20 years that are in their 90s who came to us in their 60s. The grandparents now in their 90s are living independently. They're not on walkers, they're not on canes, they're not headed for nursing homes.
I meet people and they ask about, wow, you're in great shape. You have 12% body fat and stuff. What's the secret? I said, it's not a secret. Longevity Medical Clinic has been there for 25 years. There is no secret to the fact that if you make those small changes, you avoid the big, bad, horrible stuff that most of us just think, well, this is what's supposed to happen to me.
And if you're heading downhill and you don't change your direction, you're going to continue going downhill. And what we do at Longevity is we redirect you and we take you back up the hill.
So get your free health analysis. Go to longevitymedicalclinic.com. That's longevitymedicalclinic.com. It's John Curley with a big deal from Window Nation. During their semi-annual sale, right now, get 60% off. And if you buy windows for your entire house, you get a free exterior door, too. And you could get 0 down, 0 interest, and no payments locked in for 2 years. Their energy-efficient windows help cut noise, lower your bills, and reduce your carbon footprint, all with modern style. Backed by a 25-year warranty and transparent pricing, Window Nation gives you the long-lasting comfort without the gimmicks. Made locally with Milgard right here in Tacoma, 866-90Nation or windownation.com.
Safety comes first. When money is tight, Buc-ee's has you covered with available financing. For oil changes, wiper blades, brakes, tire rotation, tune-ups, and factory maintenance, it's Buc-ee's Complete Auto. No appointment necessary and financing's available. Check Buc-ee's.com for the location near you.
It is the Gee and Ursula Show. We got Agree to Disagree coming up next, but right now, let's get to scenarios.
Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario?
Oh, this is going to be a very hard one to figure out. My wife and I have disagreed about what to do for Mother's Day this year. We do not have any kids. We've been married for 6 months, but we've been together for 9 years. Her family and I are close, but I do not want to spend Mother's Day with her mom. I want to spend it with my mom. My wife thinks we should split the day with our moms or do something with both of them together. They live in the same city and it wouldn't be that hard, but I don't think it's special enough. I think she should do things with her mom and I should do and visit with my mom. I don't want to be rushed with my mom, which is what I think will end up happening. We spend almost every holiday with her family, and I think my mom deserves some time on her day. My wife says, since we're married now, we need to go spend time with both of our moms together. What's the best way to handle this situation? 888-973-5476. Ursula, you up to bat first.
I mean, it would be great if they could do something all together. When my mom and my mother-in-law were still alive, we would try to do something all together as an entire family, and that doesn't preclude him from also doing something separately with his mom so that she could feel special and that it doesn't have to land on Mother's Day itself. You can do something all together and then pick something that you know that your mom would love that you can really enjoy together and that you would have that alone time. But I don't think it's fair, especially if he is accurate in what he's saying and that it always goes with her mom. It's always, her decision. I don't think that's fair. So I think there's a way to compromise, and it may be that they do something all together as a family and then he does something separately with his mom.
I think you're right on this one. You go spend the day with your mom. You're not obligated to spend it with your spouse's mother, and the idea that you would have to go to that, no. Absolutely not, especially if you're spending the holidays there. But this is a very common kind of argument that comes up, Where do we spend Christmas? Where do we spend Thanksgiving? Oh, well, they're closer. Oh, well, we don't really get along with, this one in the family. And so I can imagine this being a real problem. But if they're in the same town, you guys can always go on separate days too, right? If it's yes. Crucial for you to have your husband there, then go on Saturday. Go visit your mom on Saturday with him, and then he can go spend the day on Sunday. But you got to compromise some.
Well, first, let's establish something. Bro, you got a selfish wife. I'm gonna start off with that. I think that's selfish to just say, hey, you can't do that. Now, however, sounds like this is a bigger problem. Like this has been something that has built up over time and for a while. And my suggestion to try to out-trick this situation is to maybe go along with that plan of Because obviously it sounds like if you do go spend time with your mom on Mother's Day and she spends time with her mom on Mother's Day, that's not what she wants. She wants it to where both of you guys can do it. So try a little bit of a compromise. I would stay trying to do that situation and then figure out a time to spend some extra time with your mom. That way you can try to get the best of both worlds. Nick, what do you got?
You know what? Ideally, I'd have the two mothers spend time together for the holiday. But of course, though, there has to be drama amongst the two or the family that treat time as possession and not a privilege. So if you have to draw the line, I'm going in favor of the mom who never gets the attention in the first place. Because from what I'm hearing, there's one mama hogging all the time and she just give this one day to the other one. I'd say just try and come together, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be an ideal solution.
No, it don't. And this sounds like a very real situation. And I wonder if there are anyone listening right now that is faced with this situation where maybe you're married, one mom probably gets a little or more of the time. Usually kind of how, this is kind of a sweeping statement, is usually moms or usually the wife that kind of dictates where the time gets spent. But either way, you want to make sure you keep peace in the house. All right. We got a lot of stuff going on in the 11 o'clock hour, including Agree to Disagree. One of the topics is this. Are workplace friendships, are they good? Can they be a boost for retention? Or are they not something that you should do? We talk about all that next. It is the Gee Ursula Show.
You never know what's in store each morning once you hit the road.
We've got a major traffic alert in effect right now.
While you're getting ready every morning, make us part of your routine.
What morning, huh?
Yeah. Got off to an early start.
Just tell your smart speaker to play KIRO Newsradio or stream us on the app.
Both directions of I-5 are closed.
We'll help you get where you're going faster.
Maybe bail at 512.
KIRO Newsradio. We're on your smart speaker, the app, and 97.3 FM.
Active Liver is the easy way to get a daily detox to keep you healthy and feeling your best. Find Active Liver at your local CVS or online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. I came out in the 11th grade. Nobody was embracing you. The kids were cruel. It was very difficult to be gay. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma. The hard part was determining that I was going to do it, but I definitely didn't do it alone.
At age 30, with the help of her mentor, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
I have a mentor, Maria. She convinced me to continue my education and to finish what I started to get my diploma. Just never judges. She's a true role model. If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, go get it. You can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Hey there, I'm Phil Briggs, Navy veteran and host of CBS Eye on Veterans weekly radio show and podcast. And over the years, I've loved sharing military stories with my neighbor Greg, a battle-tested former Army Ranger. He's a barbecue master and always welcomes us over. As it's Military Appreciation Month, Navy Federal Credit Union wants all active duty, veterans, and family to know that they're always eligible to join. Because at Navy Federal, our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
Strokes are one of the leading causes of death and disability in the U.S., and they're on the rise among younger adults. Dr. Clinton Wright with the National Institute of Neurological Disorders and Stroke has more.
More adults under 45 are having strokes, a clear reminder that prevention matters at every age. The FAST acronym helps people recognize possible stroke symptoms. F for face drooping, A for arm weakness, S for speech difficulty, and T for time to call 911.
For more information, visit ninds.nih.gov.
Gee and Ursula, weekdays from 9 to noon on KIRO Newsradio.
At the Boy Scouts of America, our oath remains. A Scout pledges to be kind, helpful, and brave. We're committed to providing a safe and welcoming environment where Scouts can establish the foundations of character that will last a lifetime. Our approach ensures the Boy Scouts of America is building the youth of today into the leaders we'll turn to tomorrow. The Boy Scouts of America. Building character is in our nature. Visit scouting.org to learn more about Scouting.
Hartley Wilcox here from Wilcox Family Farms. A question we get asked a lot this time of year is, how do the hens stay warm when it's so cold out? Of course, we have nice barns to protect them from the rain, wind, and snow. But also, their feathers are like a down jacket, and if they need additional warmth, they will often snuggle together. And for those very cold days, we have heaters to keep them comfortable and happily laying eggs. Wilcox is committed to organic, humane practices that keep our hens healthy and help preserve the land. When you choose food from local family farmers like Wilcox, you support the local economy with jobs and promote environmental sustainability, making it possible for our family to keep on producing great eggs for another 100 years. Pick up Wilcox eggs at Costco, Marlene's, and Hagen's. And for a healthy snack on the go, grab some ready-to-eat, pre-peeled, hard-boiled eggs in a convenient to-go 2-pack. Wilcox Family Farms, locally fresh since 1909.
This is Ricky Rubio, point guard for the Phoenix Suns.
And I'm Holly Robinson Peete, actor and along with Ricky, ambassador for Delivering Jobs. We know that a job is empowering and instills confidence. Yet 81% of adults with developmental differences don't have a paid job, even though companies that employ people with differences report better morale and higher productivity.
There are 6.5 million people in the U.S. with an intellectual or developmental difference such as autism.
And now, thanks to Autism Speaks, Best Buddies, the Holly Ride Foundation, and Special Olympics, there has never been more opportunity to improve hiring practices and build a more inclusive workforce. Join me, Ricky Rubio, and these amazing organizations in supporting and creating pathways to 1 million employment and leadership opportunities for this talented community.
Visit deliveringjobs.org to learn more.
That's deliveringjobs.org.
Imagine finding your dream home and moving in right away. No waiting to sell your old place first. Sounds perfect, right? That's exactly what Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program lets you do. Buy your new home now and sell the old one later. Here's how it works. Orchard gives you cash so you can buy and move into your new home first on your timeline. No waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then the Orchard experts take it from there. They handle repairs on your old home for you so you attract the right buyers. Once they're done, a local Orchard agent lists and sells your home for top dollar. Orchard's Move First program gives you the freedom to buy and move into your new home first and sell your old home later. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Ready to find out how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com.
For more than 75 years, the VA Home Loan Benefit has helped millions of eligible veterans and service members achieve their piece of the American dream, a home for their families. Did you know that you could purchase a home or refinance your current home loan with your VA Home Loan Benefit? VA home loans have lower closing costs and generally enjoy lower interest rates than other borrowers. The VA Home Loan may save you thousands of dollars on your mortgage. For more information, visit www.va.gov or talk to a lender of your choice. Choose VA.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Cammie McCormick. Cardinals from 70 countries filled the Sistine Chapel today. And the doors were closed. They are being sequestered to select a new pope. CBS's Chris Livesay.
Some of them don't necessarily have a common language, don't necessarily speak Italian, which is the lingua franca here, or English. So it's going to take them some time to figure out exactly where each other stand.
CBS's Tina Kraus is talking to some of the crowds outside of the Vatican.
We're going to be looking for the smoke.
These college students from Maine say they plan to have a front row seat.
I'm not religious at all, but I would say that it's still quite a historic moment.
Several cardinals have said they believe the field is wide open as to who the next pope will be. The vast majority of them were appointed by Pope Francis.
The Federal Reserve has just announced that it will keep interest rates unchanged. Later, we will hear from Fed Chairman Jerome Powell, CBS's Jill Schlesinger.
He has repeatedly said that the central bank wants to make sure that inflation is tamed before resuming rate cuts. And the problem for the Federal Reserve is that the Trump tariffs could actually reignite inflation.
China has agreed to trade talks with the U.S., even as it rolls out a number of measures to counter U.S. tariffs. But any deal will likely take time. And Jim Ursula reports small businesses say they don't have long.
Tariffs on Chinese goods are driving up prices and threatening shortages on widely needed baby gear at a time when many family budgets are under strain. Jennifer Katawi owns a baby goods store in New York City.
Just today, I had to re-tag a number of items because they have gone up just in the last 24 hours.
Nearly every car seat, a stroller, bassinet, and changing table sold in the U.S. are made in China and are now subject to 145% Trump administration tariffs. Jim Ursula, CBS News.
The latest Israeli strikes across Gaza have killed nearly 100 people. One strike targeted a crowded market in central Gaza. The strike comes after Israel announced it was intensifying its operations. India has fired missiles at Pakistan in retaliation for last month's massacre of Indian tourists. CBS's Rami Inocencio.
Pakistan's prime minister says this is a blatant act of war and that they are saying that they will respond at a time of its own choosing, so we are on alert for more attacks.
It is the worst violence between the two nuclear-armed neighbors in 2 decades. And checking the numbers on Wall Street after the Fed announcement, the Dow is up 263 points. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Engineers are just out with a report on why the Hood Canal Bridge could not close on Monday. The story coming up at first. From the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk in Seattle, a crash is blocking a lane on I-5 northbound near I-90. You're backed up to Boeing Field. Travel time Federal Way to Seattle, 34 minutes, about 5 longer than usual. A disabled vehicle is blocking a lane on I-405 southbound near Northeast 116th Street. You're jammed up a little in Totem Lake. In Renton, a crash is blocking 2 lanes on I-405 northbound near State Route 167. You're backed up now to Oakdale Avenue. Traffic brought to you by KIRO Newsradio.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. A complete inspection, both above and below water, of the Hood Canal Bridge has left engineers with a mystery. They can't find a reason for why the bridge couldn't close on Monday afternoon, stranding drivers for hours. WashDOT's Doug Admonson says they only have a working theory.
There could have been a piece of debris which initially stopped one half of the bridge from moving. And then it could have come loose when a tugboat came out and pulled the bridge shut.
But they've no evidence that's what happened. Adamson says the bridge is open and closed without any issue since. Just before the busy travel season, a strike is looming at SeaTac Airport. More from KIRO 7 TV's Jason Sloss.
Tuesday, Teamsters voted in support of a strike. The fuelers service about 70% of planes at SEA and work for Swissport.
This job is not only dangerous, it's grueling.
Jamie Fleming with Teamsters Local 174 says the fuelers' previous contract with Swissport expired a few days ago. They've been negotiating for the past 2 months, but talks have stalled. Many fuelers make little more than minimum wage. They're asking for better pay and improved working conditions.
Another round of talks is set for tomorrow. Today is the day you are supposed to have your real ID and enhanced driver's license to fly in the U.S. Doug is at SeaTac and does not have his.
My heart is pounding. I'm freaking out a little bit.
If you don't have real ID, you can use your passport or other accepted federal identification. Don't have either? Then you will undergo lengthy screening. Charges have been filed now against a motorcycle rider who's accused in a hit-and-run crash that killed a 57-year-old woman and injured her husband in South Seattle last month. Prosecutors say Tyler Shane O'Brien faces counts of vehicular homicide, vehicular assault, and hit and run. He's due in court May 19th. If you feel the need for speed, stay out of Bellevue.
During the first quarter of last year, Bellevue police issued 380 speeding tickets. This year, that number is 998. Now, traffic officers will conduct emphasis patrols every weekend beginning this Friday. Here's Bellevue PD's Drew Anderson.
If you are choosing to speed in our community, drive recklessly, or even use a modified muffler that is creating a lot of noise, we will be holding you accountable.
James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Increasing showers today with highs near 60. It's 58 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO Newsradio App. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Hey, good morning, everybody. It is Wednesday, May 7th. Welcome into the Gee and Ursula Show. Good morning, Ursula.
Good morning. Coming up in the 11 o'clock hour, we are going to be asking the question about whether dunks are what make basketball exciting, because there is someone who is on the scene right now and is getting a lot of attention, and we're going to have fun with that. As always, you can join us on our text line, 888-973-5476, 888-973-KIRO.
Let's get to it. Agree to disagree. Brought to you by Garden Roofing and Gutters.
One of these days, we just got to take off the gloves. Just really go at it.
Cameras, baby. They're going in everywhere. And the Seattle City Council Transportation Committee has voted not only to double the number of school zone cameras in the city, but also, for the first time, to put them into neighborhoods. So I'm getting this reporting from KOMO News. This is still in past committee, so it's going to have to go to the council. Mm-hmm. But, gee, we're going to see those cameras in neighborhoods potentially next year if they pass it. Are you for neighborhood speed cameras too?
Absolutely, because I think that they will lead to saving lives. And I think for some reason, I don't know why it is, but the only time that drivers really start to pay attention, watch their speed, watch what you're doing, is when there are cameras that are there to enforce those things. So it's the only time. And as a matter of fact, right now, wherever your drive route is, you know about areas in which there are cameras. And I can guarantee you, wherever there are cameras, you're definitely careful and you're definitely not speeding.
And I am actually in favor of expanding their use in surrounding neighborhoods. But I did see that there were some amendments, Chef, that included...
Yes, correct.
So making sure that they aren't abused in terms of their expansion.
Two amendments passed. One was that the revenue generated from them has to be directed to traffic safety improvements. Yes. The other one is that the city has to look at installing speed bumps or speed humps or stop signs first. But regardless, they're going to be funding this number of cameras.
Yeah, if you'd asked me this question 5 years ago or 10 years ago, I would have said no. But given what we have been seeing lately and the number of people who do speed in residential neighborhoods and the number of accidents that are happening, that I'm okay with the expansion.
I am not. I'm not, because you can't put a stop sign, on a busy street, a 4-lane street. You can't put speed humps on those streets, but you can in neighborhoods. We don't need surveillance cameras snapping people's license plates and sending out $186 tickets, for every 5 miles over the speed limit. People naturally slow down when there are roundabouts. They slow down if there's a speed hump, and they slow down if there's a stop sign. And if they don't, that's to their peril, and they're going to screw up their car. Also, those cameras cost $65,000 a year each to operate. I don't know if each camera brings in $65,000 a year in revenue, and I don't even know why we're paying to operate those cameras, considering that we send some of the revenue to the company that operates them. But I just don't think people need more tickets when you can actually have infrastructure that's cheaper.
Yeah, they do. It's the only reason why they listen. And by the way, those in their 20s, people driving a lot of times in their teens and 20s, I'd argue that a lot of them don't care as much about some of these vehicles than you do when you start to get older, when you're having a responsibility. Oh, and also, when we know better, we do better. As we get older, we start to say, oh, you know what? Maybe it's not a good idea to go 65 down this residential street.
The other thing that I would add is they're planning to add 37 new cameras at 19 additional school zones. So it doubles the current number, but it's not like that's that many either, in my opinion. And the other part of it that I would say is that you said, they're $50,000. $65,000.
Yeah.
They need to get the cost down. Like, where's the audit and finding out, like, why does it cost that much? And weren't they looking at some other options that they said we're first going to exhaust other possibilities of finding other things like
we have to
cushions and other things before we resort immediately to the cameras? What they're saying is that the goal is not to give people tickets, it's to reduce speed. And in their opinion, the only way to do that is to actually have some teeth in it.
How important are friendships at work? So a recent survey shows that 76% of job seekers are more likely to stay at a company if they have workplace friendships, which is great for the company, right? It's great for the company if people stick around longer. But how about for the workers? Gee, how important are workplace friendships?
Very important. And I think that it's a lot of times, not just for the worker, but it's for the company altogether. One of the things that companies do a very good job of is they make you like, people are like, oh, I love my job and things are going great and it's awesome. And then you really find out once you lose your job. You see, when you lose your job, that's when you find out just how much that job is only transactional. So as long as everybody is clear, as long as you know that job is really transactional, and while you're there, the friendships are important to get you along the way. But don't get it twisted. While you're there, everything is transactional. Don't believe me? Lose your job and find out how much that job is family.
We're family here.
I will say that I am someone who does still keep contact with people who are no longer working here, and I do still have friendships, because if they are true friendships, then they will sustain whether you work together or not. I think it is really important, and I think you do find out who are your real friends and who are people there just there and pretending to be friends out of convenience.
Yeah.
But I will say that, I think I loved seeing the 4 guys in our newsroom do an event last weekend, and that they chose to hang out together outside of work. I think that's the greatest thing. I think it's the greatest thing when people, if I have a work-related party and almost everybody at work will show up, I think that's a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
And it does, camaraderie and friendship and support does improve morale in the workplace, and I think it is extremely important.
How requisite is it to your own personal success, though? The reason I bring this up is because I think there's probably some other guys out there who are like me. I consider you both friends, but we don't really hang out outside of work. I am very familiar with, I love a lot of the people in this building, but it is strictly a work relationship. I don't spend any time outside of work with people that I work with. I spend time with my family first. And that, part of that's unique to my age and
it is
the children that I have. But I think there's a lot of people who, while they might love everyone at their office, I'm gone. Once the workday's over, I'm done. Do you think it's important for your success on the job to have outside of work relationships?
No.
Friendships?
Not necessarily. No? Not necessarily.
Gee.
I just want to make sure, they didn't get lost. It is important that you have, while you're at that job, it's important while you have those friendships. And as far as success within the company, you spend you spend 5 days, however many days a week. You literally spend more time with your people at work than you do your loved ones.
Yeah.
And in order for you to be able to pay the bills and help contribute to the bills with your loved ones, your work has to be going well. So I don't know, man. I think your friendships, even sometimes outside of it, it might have to help you out a little bit.
All right. Speaking of work, I saw a really interesting work column in Slate about a dilemma someone's facing after returning to the office after working from home. They say that on one of their first days back, they were washing their hands in the restroom and noticed another worker go from the urinal straight to the door without washing their hands. And they pointed out, hey, not going to wash your hands? And they just kind of shrugged it off and left. Then they go see this worker go help out another employee because they're an IT worker. And they're using the keyboard, using the mouse.
Ew.
And the guy's like, what am I supposed to do about this? Like, do I tell HR? Do I confront them? Do I tell everyone in the office? Ursula, as a work mom, what do you do in that situation?
Assume that your keyboard's disgusting and try to wipe it down each and every time because you're not going to be able to. You already mentioned it to this worker, and you saw that. How many times do you not see people washing their hands? All HR can do is put a sign out there and say, sing happy birthday and wash your hands in warm water and make sure that you use soap. What can they do? I mean, do you want to have a confrontation with that employee again or cause gossip? No. I think you've done what you can do, and I would just make sure that you protect yourself. Wipe down your keyboard.
Pre-pandemic, I saw so many nasty folks. I see less nasty folks today than I did pre-pandemic. I don't know, for some reason, I guess people got the memo with washing your hands. It got a little bit better. But before then, I used to see a lot of people go in the restrooms, not wash their hands, sporting events, are everywhere, public restrooms, just not, and by the way, I'm not saying that I watch everything at my house, but if you come to my house and I hear that toilet flush and I don't hear any water splashed after that toilet flushes, I'm shaking my head. So I will say people now are washing their hands a lot more post-pandemic.
I think if someone is brazenly doing that in front of you and they strictly don't care, with number one, they're doing it with the other one as well. Mm-hmm. And the power of public shame, I think, is pretty effective in that situation. So I would probably bring it up. I would bring it up with other people because, no, that's shared workspace, gross. I can't walk around sanitizing everything in my environment. But you have to depend on other people to be somewhat sanitary, right?
So, okay, wait, I'm just trying to envision this. So you're going to go around and tell how many people that this person did not wash their hands. And how you happen to see that one time. I mean, How many other times is that happening with other people? Is it worth now creating that drama?
I don't know. Maybe not for me. Maybe not for you, I guess. Let's see. Let's look at parenting. The co-founder of Reddit, his name's Alexis Ohanian. He's also partners to, I believe it's Venus Williams. I can't remember. It's Venus or Serena. He is talking about how robotics could revolutionize parenting. Says that the future of robotics should be robots doing tasks that free up parents in order to spend more time with their kids. And the robots can also act as playmates and instructors to your children. Gee, what do you think about kids interacting with the robots?
I've been wanting to do that for a long time. If you've seen the movie Rocky IV and you remember when they got Paulie that robot and that gift, and it was interactive and it was doing things around the house. I've been wanting that since 1985. I think this would be fantastic. As a matter of fact, the closest thing that I got to the robot is my little Zumba deal that I have go at 10 o'clock a.m. every single day. And it goes about 1 hour of sweeping up the floor downstairs. Let me be able to get a robot that can do some things around the house. I'm all for it.
I got one of those Roombas.
I said Zumba.
I want to say Zumba.
Zumba?
I want to say
the
that
Brazilian
too. Yeah,
dance
that's the exercise thing.
Roomba.
But I got one of those Roombas when you were talking it up. Mm-hmm. And you just reminded me by bringing it up that the only thing that's gathering dust right now is my Roomba. That it was really good for the first few months. And then I just haven't been using it lately. Oh. And the same thing with just robot. The other day I saw one of those cute. I was at a sushi restaurant and they used a robot to
really?
basically deliver
carry out the tray.
Carry out the trays. But I was like, It just doesn't seem that efficient.
Yeah. Well, and then it's not really serving you, right? You have to serve yourself. You have to put it on the table.
I mean,
you
there
can't
were
ask
all
it
these
for
different
anything.
steps that you had to do. Same with my Roomba.
And also downtown in L.A., I was down there. They had the strip of places. They were having food delivery service with the little robot going down the street. They're having that. If you've been to the airport, you've been to SCA, you all have seen the self-driving deals. Go and pick up mama and them and sit on down and we'll take you. So I'm loving the robots. We're going to see more of this. This is what the Jetsons promised us. Why do you think your boy Elroy was my partner growing up? I watched the Jetsons. By the way, if you watch the Jetsons like me, just say something on the text line, because the Jetsons used to really make me believe that we would have all of those things by 1995.
Yeah, I don't really want that in my house, because I feel like the robotics, just like with the AI, it can be programmed in such a way to be addictive. I don't think kids need to interact with digital devices. We can form emotional relationships with robots, Tamagotchis, as easily as we can with people. And I think we substitute far too often our relationships with people we actually know and live in a real world with technology. Like, I don't like that.
You know what that sounded like? That sounded like a Hallmark card.
A Hallmark card?
We sacrifice our relationships for these robots. And okay. Well, I tell you what, get off the computer and go get you a Britannica encyclopedia. Don't use Google and everything. Go do it the rough way. Back in my day, we used to get the Britannica encyclopedia and do your research that way, Chef.
Oh my God, do you remember those?
We were the only people in the neighborhood that had it.
Oh, no, we had them. My dad made sure we had 3 different versions of Encyclopedia Britannica.
But the problem is they go out of date. Because my grandparents had the ones from 1976.
Oh my gosh.
Well, the problem is when there was only not many people in the neighborhood that would have them, and then the neighbors would come over and ask to use it. And my father was real subjective with who he would let use them and who
I'm sure.
not.
You ever sell any of those door to door?
Never.
Those are very heavy.
Never. Those are heavy. But at that time, they can't. I want to just say, book reports and all that kind of stuff. I was blessed to have those encyclopedias in the house.
Mm-hmm. No library for you.
It was the closest to Chat GPT we could have. Coming up next, what was a topic in cover? Oh, dunking. That's right, basketball. The Storm. By the way, this new player that the Storm has, absolutely incredible. Talk about it next. Gee Ursula.
This hour is brought to you by DUI Heroes.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
I've always been a super athletic guy, but after I turned 40, I noticed I was slowing down. Instead of hitting the gym after work, I spent my evenings on the couch with a bag of chips. I was gaining weight, losing muscle, and when I did try to work out, I ran out of energy right away. One of my buddies suggested I book a free testosterone check at Revive Health, and that's when I learned that low T doesn't just impact how guys perform in the bedroom. I worked with a provider to create my custom treatment plan, and today I'm feeling stronger than ever. Last week, I even set a new PR at the gym. My only regret is not reaching out sooner.
If you're ready to book your free T-check, visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com or call 206-529-1111. Again, that's 206-529-1111.
Hi, it's John Curley. Longevity Medical Clinic has been helping people live longer, healthier lives for more than 25 years. I've recently talked with Dr. Mixon about his approach to proactively focusing on prevention. Dr. Mixon, I first met you in 2009, and I went in there and I told you I wasn't feeling well, couldn't gain any muscle mass, couldn't sleep well, I was stressed out, and you looked at me and you said, yeah, I know what your problem is.
And all we did was we measured your values and we moved your values back to those of a nice, healthy 25-year-old man.
I have taken your blood work to my doctor, and he was shocked. He couldn't believe the depth in which you study my blood.
We need to draw a distinction between living a long time and getting old. And that's what longevity is all about, is we are here to do the measurements and help you fix those problems.
So get your free health analysis. Go to longevitymedicalclinic.com. That's longevitymedicalclinic.com.
Nearly everyone wants to grow old in their own home. Yet, according to research conducted by Stanford University, 70% of Americans will not achieve this goal, despite having done a lot of retirement planning. Now, why does this happen? Hi, I'm Rajiv Nagaich, an elder law attorney who's been studying this phenomena for the last 20 plus years. The problem isn't the planning that you do. The problem is what you haven't been told. That's why retirement becomes a nightmare. Now, if you're wondering what you haven't been told, come to one of my retirement seminars this month. I'll shine the spotlight in all the dark corners so you can retire with confidence.
Join the free seminar in Federal Way on May 13th, Tacoma on May 15th, or Bellevue on May 17th. Register at lifepointlaw.com. That's lifepointlaw.com. Or call 253-838-3454.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
We know finding a company to trust with your home is a big decision, and one we look forward to earning with incredible service, top quality products, and lifetime warranties. Adrian here, owner of Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Our windows are feature rich with our sound package that reduces noise by 50%, clean glass technology, and added protection with our exclusive First Guard 3-layer security glass. Learn more about all of these features at lakewashingtonwindows.com. Lake Washington Windows and Doors, a name you can trust.
If you want a dream bathroom without a humongous price tag, now's the time to call Bathfitter Northwest. Ursula Reutin here. I picked Bathfitter because they are the original one-day bath remodeler. They're a local family-owned business that's been around for 40 years. They own every step in the process to make sure you get the best quality product and the best value. Right now, get 0% interest for 24 months, and for a limited time, they'll pay your sales tax. Why would you choose anyone else? Call Bathfitter today.
Need a new roof now? With State Roofing and Exteriors, you can get started with 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. That's right. Protect your home now and pay later. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today.
If you've been thinking about surgery or even joint replacement, here's something to consider. Hi, it's Dave Ross. I've talked to over 100 patients of Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, and many of them have told me about life-changing results. Their words, after treatment at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. These are people with severe osteoarthritis, even bone-on-bone, and they're back to hiking, jogging, playing tennis, skiing, golfing, walking up and down stairs, playing with the kids and the grandkids, and they're doing it without pain and without surgery. Dr. Wagner's 60-minute outpatient procedure uses your own stem cells, and because they're your own stem cells, they can help regenerate your own cartilage in your own joints. Dr. Wagner is a board-certified Seattle physician. He has over 30 years of experience, and he's performed over 20,000 stem cell procedures. And he's one of the few doing it the right way. So, listen to his patients and remember, whether it's a shoulder, hip, elbow, ankle, wrist, or knee, before you choose surgery, first see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD. Get the facts, then get back in the game at drmarkwagnermd.com.
Spike O'Neill for Sharp Vision, Modern LASIK and Lens. And let me tell you, everything is my eyes, everything. The vision is everything in your life. But when your eyes start to go, it affects everything you do. And I had lost quality of vision over the years, began to need readers, began to lose readers faster than I could buy them. I knew it was time to get my eyes looked at. So I went to the offices over in Bellevue, Sharp Vision, Modern LASIK and Lens. They gave me a comprehensive eye exam, told me exactly what my situation was, the beginning of cataract in my eye, and I was a perfect candidate for RLE, refractive lens exchange. They answered all my questions. I had the same care team from the start of my simple procedure in half an afternoon, and I was cared for. My anxieties were eased. The procedure went smooth as glass, and I got to tell you, I've got better eyes than I've ever had in my life. I've got 20/10 vision. I see brighter colors. I see sharper images, and I will never need readers, and I will never develop cataract. They are the future of RLE surgeries. Over 80,000 successful lens replacement surgeries. Give them a call at 425-451-2020. That's 425-451-2020, or online at sharp-vision.com, sharp with an e-vision.com. Official eye care providers of Sounders FC.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. Today is the deadline for you to have your real ID, the enhanced driver's license, in order to fly. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey has more from SeaTac Airport.
2 decades since the Real ID program was implemented by Homeland Security, and 1 in 5 Americans like Doug still don't have one.
My heart is pounding. I'm freaking out a little bit. I think it's going to be fine, but you never know.
People without a Real ID have been allowed to fly after jumping through more TSA security hoops. At SEA, Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Questions are being raised about an extra checkpoint that U.S. Customs and Border Patrol has set up in Blaine at the border with Canada. Immigration lawyer Len Saunders says in 25 years he's never seen anything like this.
I want to know why. I don't want some rhetoric, blah, blah, blah answer.
The Border Patrol tells Global News inspections like this are routinely done to check for illegal immigrants and contraband. More people are expected in court today after being arrested for barricading themselves at a University of Washington engineering building this week. 4 of the more than 30 pro-Palestinian demonstrators faced a judge yesterday.
The suspects were arrested for first-degree criminal trespass. Authorities say they took part in a standoff with police at the UW's interdisciplinary engineering building. During the incident, there was vandalism and a dumpster set on fire. Police say none of those arrested were intoxicated or armed. The people in court Tuesday were ordered to stay out of the engineering building unless attending or teaching a class there. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
The building sustained about $1 million in damage. Americans are keeping their eyes on costly tariffs and the prospect there will be shortages because of the trade war. This woman shopping early for holiday toys.
I cannot risk that there'll be no presents or dolls for her under the tree. So I am going out there and I am purchasing her Christmas gifts now.
President Trump has commented on the impact of his tariffs on toys.
Maybe the children will have 2 dolls instead of 30 dolls, you know?
Analysts say it's unclear what the impact of the Trump tariffs will be. The Federal Reserve met today and decided to leave interest rates the same, given the uncertainty over the economic outlook. On Wall Street, the Dow is up 210 points, NASDAQ down 78. From the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk in Seattle, a crash is blocking 2 lanes on I-5 northbound at South Albro Place. You're backed up all along Boeing Field. Travel time Federal Way to Seattle, 28 minutes, about 5 longer than usual. A disabled vehicle is blocking a lane on I-405 southbound near Northeast 116th Street. You're jammed up a little in Totem Lake. And in Renton, the crash may have been cleared or moved to the shoulder on I-405 northbound near State Route 167. I'm no longer seeing a lengthy backup there. Traffic brought to you by ProSculpt, the one-day permanent fat loss and skin tightening solution for men and women offered by New Skin Med Spa in Bellevue, ProSculpt.com. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Increasing showers today with highs near 60. It's 58 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show. Thank you so much for hanging out with us on this gorgeous Wednesday morning. Our text line is 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. Hello to all of you who are on our Facebook page, our YouTube page as well. I got to get used to saying YouTube. Anyway, we've talked about the Seattle Storm and the upcoming season, and there is going to be someone that you will want to watch out for. Her name is Dominique Malonga, and she's 19 years old. She just arrived from France, and apparently she is really something to watch for.
Yeah, she really is. And I was going back and forth right here, Ursula, with David the Milkman. I didn't even know that was your name, David. Anyway, I was talking back to him, and we were texting back and forth, and we were texting an agreement on is something that I have been saying for some years now. This player from France is incredible. You should see her dunk. She dunks with ease. I've never seen a woman dunk like this. I mean, they had it on display yesterday, and I'm like, oh my goodness, the dunks. I have been saying since the WNBA started in 1997, the same way in women's golf, they bring the tee closer than the men's. The same way in volleyball, where the net sometimes is lower. I always said they should bring, instead of 10 feet for the rim, they should bring it down to 9 feet. To really show the athleticism of women. I really think the game would take off. But
what I was going to say is that according to this article in the Seattle Times, there have been fewer than 40 dunks. So there's been a total of 37 dunks in WNBA history during a game. And so they're saying that she is 6 feet 6 inches tall, and she's going to be joining an exclusive list of 8 players who have thrown it a dunk during a regular season or all-star game. That's how rare it is.
It is rare, and I'll tell you this. Now that she's a part of the 8, 7 of them are not close to what she does.
Really? She's that spectacular?
Oh, she's that spectacular dunking the basketball. I'm not talking about her game. I'm just talking about dunking the basketball.
Now, I've heard people, and I love basketball, but I'm going to not profess to be someone who watches it all the time, but I've heard the complaint that some people say, well, it's just become this dunk fest in men's basketball. Oh. And I mean, is that something that, or does the dunk make the game?
To dunk always makes the game the same way the home run makes the game. If anything, a lot of people right now are complaining about the three-point shot. A lot of people are taking way too many threes. The other day, Boston Celtics, they missed 45 three-point shots. So that's probably the difference in the game. Now, we can stay on this Storm topic all day long, but I can give you a 1972 study that is now being talked about today. Is that cool?
Sure.
In 1972, sociologist Jesse Bernard made a big splash by declaring that there are his and hers marriages, that his is typically better. Now, here we are years later, and here is the conventional wisdom. Check this out and see if you agree. While women out there have experienced but research suggests that married men tend to report higher levels of happiness compared to single men, while single women generally report higher levels of happiness than married women. Do you all agree with that? Ursula, I'll say it again so everybody knows. Married men are happier than single men. Single women are happier than married women.
Okay, so this is tough because as a married woman, I am very happy. I've been married for over 30 years, and I am happy within my own marriage. I think one of the things that works a lot is that while I am with a partner who I've been with for over 30 years, I also have a lot of independence within the marriage. Mm-hmm. And I am free to do things that I enjoy doing with my girlfriends, that kind of thing.
That's fair.
And he is really comfortable and confident in our relationship.
Fair.
So that works really well. Now, I also know a lot of single women who are a lot happier being single. and they say they no longer feel like they need a partner to be happy.
Mm-hmm.
And many are waiting longer and longer and longer. So I can see, I hate, the reason I'm making such a qualified answer is because I hate sweeping statements.
Because I got a sweeping one ready.
Yeah,
but go ahead.
I know you do.
That one ready.
So I will just say that I can see where some people would say yes, but in my case, no.
All right. First, I want to address your situation. You have a happy situation, happy marriage. I believe, no doubt about it, the way you live your life. Ursula, as a married woman, is very happy. Just want to say that first, because before I get ready to let this fire go.
Yes.
Everybody, this is, of all the sweeping statements that I've ever made, this is the one that I'm ready to go all in for. This is the one that I am ready to give up everything I own on this sweeping statement.
Okay, I'm ready.
Married men are way happier than single men. Single men out here struggling.
Facts.
They have no structure. They are eating unhealthy. They do things they're not supposed to do. They have no curfew. Let me tell you something, Ursula. Do you know how much of a damn mess I would be if I didn't have a curfew? If I didn't have any type of structure, if I didn't have anyone to go home to, I'd be eating quarter pounder with cheeses and large fries every single day. I'd have cereal for dinner. I'm telling you right now.
See, I'm gonna take up for men. You make them sound hapless and hopeless. Like
I'm gonna take up against men.
They cannot function without a partner.
You want to know why Long Live Mark is happy? You want to know why he's happy? Because he's married. Go ahead, Chef, your turn.
I'm just going to read a text. It actually came in about what moms want for Mother's Day. It's particularly germane to this. It says, for all the stuff women, especially mothers, do in terms of work, we deserve more than a day. For most of us married women and mothers, we didn't marry partners, but inherited sons. So add that to our laundry list of what we do.
Look. So, ladies, let's just say you just go through a breakup. I promise you, the lady is doing better than the man. The man out here struggling. I'm talking about going to work, hungover.
You're getting a lot of agreement on the text line. Theo says men are hapless and hopeless.
I'm telling y'all.
Mike and Edmonds is doing all right, though.
Again, I'll say it again. Married men are much happier than single men. By the way, I got some of my partners. I love y'all to death. I won't call you out by name, but man, I'm telling you, when the holidays come, especially the holidays, Ursula, when it's time for the holidays, Christmas and Thanksgiving, man, you struggling because your side pieces, they got stuff to do.
Oh, good grief. You make it sound so bleak.
Hey, Nick. Your thoughts, bruh?
Speak for yourself. I think I have a good shoulders over here. I'm a commodity,
maybe I'm
all right?
going to say our generation. Because I think the younger generation not subscribing.
I'll say this. If I thought being single were better for me than being married, then I would go be single right now.
Ernie in Kent says, thanks, Ursula, for standing up for men. G makes us seem like cavemen.
Because we are. Text messages, feedback, and then we'll have Ursula's words to live by. Gee Ursula.
KIRO Newsradio, the Northwest's trusted news source.
Get the latest from KIRO Newsradio's James Lynch.
It happened Wednesday morning just after 6 o'clock.
Experienced voices you trust.
Several people hurt after a violent Saturday in Pierce County.
Coverage you depend on.
More from KIRO News Radio's Matt Markovich.
It's as close to a veto warning as you could possibly get.
KIRO Newsradio. We're on YouTube, our app, your smart speaker, and 97.3 FM.
Need a new roof, a deck, siding, windows? Get up to $3,000 off any new installation. Hi, it's Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. Home projects can add up fast, but we're here to help you save big. Book now and lock in up to $3,000 off in savings. That's $3,000 off any new installation. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com to schedule your free estimate today. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
I love delivery.
How so?
Nearly anything delivered to me. Just a click or call away.
Something, same day.
Right.
Everything you want.
Well, not quite everything.
Oh?
If only I could have more hot water delivered.
Running short?
My water heater.
Getting old?
Guess so.
Good news.
What?
We deliver hot water same day.
Wait.
Apollo Plumbing same day water heater replacement.
Right, you're Dan.
You call, we come.
I'm in hot water.
In a good way.
Same day?
We'll pull out the old.
And put in the new.
You can even upgrade to a tankless water heater.
So I'm never out of hot water again.
Zip, zam, zoom, just like that.
Only thing?
Yeah?
My budget's a wee snug.
No worries. Apollo offers easy payments.
On water heaters.
With approved credit, sure.
Same day.
A big blue Apollo truck can be on its way.
Easy payments.
So you can replace that old one now.
And you'll haul away the old one?
Of course.
Told you I love home delivery.
Sure.
Gotta love Apollo Plumbing, too.
Just doing our job.
Same day water heater replacement.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
If you're thinking about renovating an attic, spending more time in your sunroom, or building onto your home, a Carrier ductless unit is the perfect solution for climate control. It's efficient, quiet, and incredibly flexible when it comes to installation because there's no ductwork required. It's just one more way we're making your home totally comfortable.
Your local Carrier heating and cooling dealer will improve your home's comfort, air quality, and efficiency. Visit CarrierNorthwest.com to find the expert near you. Carrier, turn to the experts.
G. Scott here with some special guests, former Seahawks Doug Baldwin and Cliff Averill. Guys, I've been hearing all about Nourishing Champions. Tell us more about it.
So we know the benefits for young people in sports, but we often don't think about the barriers to that access. And one of those barriers is having proper nutrition. And so Nourishing Champions, in partnership with Champions of Change and Safeway, is an effort to address those barriers so that our student athletes have what they need to excel both on the field and in the classroom.
You know, it's extremely important. You don't realize how many students actually are on reduced or even free lunch, and they don't have the opportunity to actually get a meal before practice, before a game. So being able to provide food for them, I think, is extremely important to give them the best opportunity to be able to be the best version of themselves.
And right now, high schools can apply for grants up to $25,000 from Nourishing Champions. Learn how at championsofchangefoundation.org. That's championsofchangefoundation.org.
Hi, my name is Rajiv Nagaich. Ever since I became an elder law attorney more than 20 years ago, I've helped thousands of people in the Seattle area retire with more confidence about their future. I'd like to invite you to one of my retirement planning seminars this month. Learn how to protect your estate from long-term care costs. Live out your years